So everybody tends to get behind us because we don't mind being on Front Street saying, fucking no, we ain't going. But that positions everybody else behind us because we don't mind being the voices.
Yeah, we
Yeah, but
always
I'm
the fall guy.
saying,
We always the
but I'm
fall guy in
saying,
the photo op and get put on the goddamn summer jam screen.
but I'm saying, even stuff that don't have like, okay, look at what happened after what happened to Charlie Kirk. The HBCUs had to be put on lockdown because of the threats. Well,
But
black
niggas
on
start
black
talking shit.
crime. Wait a
Niggas
minute,
start
we didn't
talking
have
shit.
nothing to do with it,
Niggas
huh?
start talking shit though. So how you think
Okay,
white
but
folks
hold
gonna
up.
react?
No.
How
What
you
was
think
they
white
doing
folks gonna
about
react?
Trayvon Martin? No. What was they doing
So I
about
mean,
George Floyd, Trayvon Martin? If they good enough to dish it out, they good enough to take it.
Yeah.
I
They,
understand all
they
that, but
should
at
be
the
able to
same
take
time,
what they
I think
dish out.
he's
bro,
going
you can't
somewhere
expect.
where it's
Come on,
not
bro.
even. We're not even talking about that right
Come on, man.
now.
Of
No, but
course,
I'm
white
just
folks is
saying
going.
we always look. My whole point was look, we always get drugged into things that don't even have nothing to do with us, but somehow, like, okay, have you been seeing what the Jamaicans been saying in lieu of that hurricane?
What's that?
What I'm saying is,
Oh,
every
that
time we
it was the
turn on the
FBA.
line on TV or whatever, it's always somebody that got something to say about somebody black. Like we're just the only people out here that's degenerate. All the crime that's going on in the world is because of black people.
You
Everything
talking
negative
about
in
the girls that
America.
was complaining in
Well,
Jamaica
the
No,
black
what are you
people put
talking
themselves
about
in
the
about?
food they was
those
getting?
spots on their own accord. Sometimes. What
You
about
know what
that?
I'll be willing to bet, Madon? I'll be willing to bet that you didn't say nothing about them white guys that unalived them cops in Pennsylvania. I bet you
Oh
didn't say
man.
nothing about that rash, the rash of these predators that's been getting caught and their skin color. I
Well,
bet you didn't make no big deal
he's not.
about who actually unalived Charlie Kirk.
He's
But
not
everything
Man,
is
because
always
bro,
black
man, what are you
people.
talking
because
about,
look,
bro?
right, because
That's what I'm
It's a
saying, bro. You speaking out of ignorance. You
he's
speaking
not
out of
going to,
ignorance.
How was
and
You
that?
speaking out of ignorance.
and a lot of the reasons they
I
don't
speak
have
on.
to.
I've been speaking on. You can find me on different panels speaking on, bigging up Candace on. You
No,
can
I'm
hear me
not
on
talking
different
about
panels.
Candace
Oh,
Owens.
we
What
talk
I'm
about. Well,
saying
hold on.
is,
We talking
over the
about Captain
last,
Kirk. We talking about your Captain Kirk. I spoke
Hold
on
on,
that.
bruh.
Bro, I speak
Hey,
on all
Are you
wickedness.
hold
doing
on.
what?
Bro, I call out all. If I know about it,
Doing what?
I call it out. Right.
hey, but look,
So
but
that's
let's
what it
not do
is.
the ignorant thing,
So
bro. Because I didn't call you. I didn't
You ain't
call
got
you
you
no
ain't got no
name. I didn't
choice.
call you ignorant and none of that.
It,
So let's not do that. All right.
it's
I'm
hard to
far from
go.
ignorant.
ignorance just means to not know, bro. That's all
But
it
I
is.
mean, but let's not
It's
refer that to
already
me though,
there,
champ.
man.
Let's not do
Well,
that though, because I didn't come
if you
at
don't
you
know
like
what I
that.
talk
This
about,
man said
if you don't
Candace.
know
But
if you don't know what I
bro,
talk
okay, but
about,
boss, I'm
you are
asking
What
you.
other
ignorant.
All
black
I'm
people?
I'm just
asking
saying,
you
bro.
is, can you not call
If you
me
don't know my
ignorant? I
history
know
and
the
what I talk about,
definition.
hold on,
I
bro.
know the def. Hold up,
If you
but
don't know the topics I deal with and talk about, you are speaking from a point of ignorance,
check
and I
this
got the
out,
right to call you that. I mean, I know you
Madon.
might be hurt, but
Madon,
it's
there
gonna be
is
all right.
other words. There is
But
other
he's not
words
wrong
that you
though.
can use to address people
Well, that ain't
other
me,
than
bro.
that
I'm gonna use the
word.
word that I
But just
choose
to
to
be
use,
clear
bro. If
though,
you
but
feel
just to be
offended,
clear
bro,
though,
it's not
bro,
my
you're
fault.
not incorrect. You're not incorrect. Just to be clear, the fact of the matter is, when it's time to deal with some white people, what he says is, "Well, I don't care about white people. I only care about black people." So he uses that as a way to only disregard and discredit black people, never having to do that shit to white people because I don't care about them. It's
Bro, white on
bullshit.
white crime, bro. We call that out all the time. That ain't nothing. I'm speaking on
We
us, bro.
call that
I
out
gotta
all
focus
the
on us
time. That ain't
because
nothing.
if I focus on the devil more than I focus on us, the devil's winning
See what I'm
and we
saying?
losing. We gotta
I'm with
call
you
out
on
what the
that.
devil's doing, and that's all I'm doing is calling out how we uh pretty much give our own consent to the goddamn devil,
Yeah, I'm cool.
which is the wicked white people who control different areas that we wish to prosper in. That's what I mean by devil. Those are that's white and wicked, and the goddamn black ones. They the devil too. That's wicked. That's holding black people back. What y'all call gatekeepers.
One of the reasons they prosper, though, is because they're not viewed in the same lens that you view black people. If you gave them the same levels of disdain for the same reasons, you would find a reason to talk about them.
No, but I
Like,
understand. I
really,
understand that this is a
fucking
nation built
crazy.
by white people and for white people. I understand that. And I understand that the white man created every law that the white man made. He broke it in order to establish it. I understand the white folks gonna do whatever they want to do and get away with it. History has proven that when you go to court, if a white man took your house and burned it down and stole your car, and the judge is his cousin, he gonna get away with it. That's been proven. So I know what white folks gonna do, but I can only focus right now on us because we acting like the same beast that raised us.
Yeah, it's sad, really.
And that's how I see it. All
I
people
don't,
acting like the goddamn white man. We killing our own. I mean, just look at it, bro. We took on the beast. That's the mark of the beast that's in our hand and our forehead. The way we think and the way
see how,
we act and the things we do with our hands, that's the
see how
real
quick
beast.
you got back
And
to
when you
pointing
and
that
a lot
out.
of our people acting just like the goddamn cracker.
See how quick you got, because you can't let the cracker stand on his own. You have to minimize, diminish, and shit on black people. And then for some reason, you think you can hide that behind the white man's the devil. The white man's the
Bro,
beast.
I already
But
know the I already know
when you
the
get
bro, I
descriptive,
know the
when
bro,
you
I
get
know the beast.
descriptive, when you start breaking down the beast, when you start breaking down the problems, fam, you talking about us every time. You gloss over the white man. You gloss
No, I
over what he
don't, bro.
do.
I don't
You
gloss
gloss
over the
over
white
his issue.
man,
Yes,
bro.
you
I
do.
know the devil, bro. Bro, I know the
That's
beast. I don't
even
bro,
that, hey
bro,
bro,
we
even
bro,
that shit, even that devil shit, that beast shit, that is a
I calling
benefit
out
to
bro,
them.
we call
That
out the
is a
white man
benefit.
acts all the time. We call out what white folks do all the goddamn time.
Bro,
That ain't nothing
but
new, bro.
nobody respects that beast devil shit, bro. That white
Well
man is the
they
devil
do.
shit.
They
No,
do
they don't. No, they don't.
shit.
No, they don't. They laugh at you niggas when you say that.
Well,
They
yeah, they
laugh
laugh
at you
because they
niggas.
know it's true. We're talking
No,
about the
bro, they
nature of
laugh
a
at you
person.
niggas.
When we say devil, we talking about the nature. And when we talk, somebody earlier was talking about, yeah, I didn't know how the white man went over and did this and did this. The white man did this and did this, and they did this and they still doing this, bro. What you think that is? That's the nature. That's the
I
nature
think
of
it's
someone.
weird.
That's the nature of a wicked person, bro. That's why we call him the devil, a
I think
deceiver,
it's
somebody
weird.
that's decisive, divisive. That's we
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
his nature, bro. It's the nature of the white man. What we talking about? Our nature is righteous. How we know our nature is righteous? We want to forgive everybody.
Yeah, right,
That's
and
a righteous person. You know what I'm
that shit
saying?
works in a church. That shit works in a church. In reality, not all black people are righteous. Remember we just had this conversation. So
Well,
some
we talking about as a
unrighteous
whole.
motherfuckers. So some of these niggas, they would be devils too. But
I
because
just
you're
said
not
that.
willing to acknowledge,
I just said
oh my
the
God,
niggas
bro.
can be devils too, bro. I just said that a little while ago.
Right. So why would you
I
call
said
the
that we
white man
call
a devil?
gatekeepers.
So why are you just? You know what? Never mind, bro. I ain't got no business talking to you. You're dumb.
Yeah, you're right, cause you can't. You know, you can't win this argument, bro. I'm just saying, Taz. I'm not
I can't
chasing
win.
for the white
Wait,
man.
what argument do you think I can't win? You stupid
This one that
motherfucker.
we're having.
Okay, so when I'm telling you that you're not doing us any service by saying the white man is the devil, you think I can't win that argument?
No, I'm talking about. When we're talking about me not calling out the crimes against humanity about the white man. I mean, I call that all the time. That ain't nothing new. I'm just saying. But at this day and age, to me, my focus is is more on the things we're doing. I gotta call that out. Just like black women call out black men, we gotta call it all out. We gotta call it out on both sides and all sides. Because if we don't, the fuckery just gonna continue. And
You
then
have an issue with
we'll
black
still
women,
be
bro.
20 years down the road. We still gonna be talking about
You have an issue with
how
black
we gonna
women.
get
There
out of
was
this
no reason to
situation.
say that, bro. Like y'all niggas is fucking weirdos, bro. I swear to
I
God.
mean, you
Like there was
call
no
it what
reason
you
to say
want,
that
man.
whatsoever.
If we ain't gonna talk about the problems that we go through and deal with, bro, and just want to gloss over and sweep it under the rug. No, we
What
gotta talk
problems are?
about
I'm
our
sorry.
problems because
What
we haven't
problems
been
are we
healed.
going through
We
and
haven't
dealing
had a.
with?
All I'm saying is we haven't had a chance to heal up from slavery. We ain't had black people as a whole had a chance to heal. We ain't had a
What?
chance to heal as a people, my nigga. So we still facing the same problems our great grandfathers and great
And that shit
grandfathers
works in a
faced.
church. But bro,
No, that's not,
if you're
bro. You
telling
know,
black people that you have not healed in 200 years, fam, you're
we
doing us a
haven't.
disservice. You're doing us a
Nah, bro.
disservice.
Why is there so much black on black
Like
hatred?
you make us sound like
Why do a lot of our
infants.
sisters hate their hair but don't understand why?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
You
That's
don't
some
believe
shit you
that?
saying. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't believe that.
Look around, bro. I mean, we a lot of us hate ourselves, man, and that just stems from genetic.
That's
That's
church
passed
doctrine.
down trauma
That's
and
church
drama.
That's church. That's
That's
church
not
shit.
church, bro. That's why we come on here and still talk about oppression and suppression. And if we do this, we can overcome. And we just had a debate talking about if black people control resources. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. We still talking about the same enemy that we up under, which we can't deny. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Same enemy.
Again, bruh. No, nobody's doubting that. That's not the part that's the problem. The part that's the problem is when you act like there's been no overcoming, where there's been nothing working to our benefit. And so
I never said
now
that.
yeah, but that's what it sounds like when you start talking about
It
devils and
sounds
beasts
like it
and the
is
white
too
man. And
vegetarian, my nigga.
yeah, well, bro, it's up to you to make sure people comprehend what you're saying.
Well, if
That's
people
what I'm
don't have
asking.
comprehension, that's not my fault. It's sounding like, I mean, that don't mean,
It's your fault. You're saying it.
I'm being clear as day. Honestly, I'm focused on us. I'm calling out our good, our bad, and our ugly, man. That's all I can do because I've been through it. I lived it. That's how I can speak on it. That's all I'm saying, man. Black people, we gotta get our priorities together, and we wouldn't have sisters and brothers crashing out with these EBT videos. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. If we had our shit together, our people wouldn't be crashing out like that. So that shows, that reflects a sick society that which we live in my opinion.
Yeah, I ain't seen nobody crashing out yet.
I'm saying, far to me, if you're making those videos, you're incriminating yourself to a certain degree. That's all I'm saying. Talking about what you go do and all that. That's we know this age. That's why they read your rights. Anything you say can and will be used against you. That's a real state. That's a reality in this world. And all I'm saying, that's a part of crashing out. Talking about what you gonna do. They might hold you to that. And what you gonna do about it if the white man come for you, knocking at your door with 100 troops, saying, "Come on, we heard what you said online. Get down, everybody, get on the ground."
Hey, thanks for having me up, champ. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. Madon, I disagree with you, but you know
That's
it is
fine,
what it
King.
is.
That's
Salute y'all,
fine, bro.
champ.
That's the beauty of life.
Y'all keep winning, and y'all stay above water. Salute to all of y'all.
Nah, you got the right to disagree, King. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right. Yeah, y'all done just bagged my whole stream out with that. It's my fault though. I gotta blame myself.
Nah, what up, Psycho, man? I mean, we gotta, hey, man. Sometimes these topics, it's. But see, even though it sounds all over the place, it's a lot of healing inside it, though. That's what I see. Cause we got
You
to
think
talk
that's
about these.
healing? That's not healing, bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about as far as like talking about the conversation and having a dialogue about these situations that's affecting Black people when it comes to SNAP and all this stuff and whatever else we're dealing with in this society. When we talk about it, it's some form of healing in that. Just expressing our thoughts is a form of healing. Just dialoguing about it, in my opinion. When we sit on these panels and talk about this and give our ideas and
This
express them
whole
to
shit
me,
turned into black women. This ain't even about
well,
snap. This whole shit turned into black women.
yeah, because they're the majority of the people of our people that's on the EBT, unfortunately.
No, they're not.
Right. Well, we're talking about how we put food in these babies' mouths or the in the near term, right?
The
So
children are the
how
most.
do we do that? We can sit here and philosophize and discuss and
Well, I said earlier,
fight.
sisters got to
Fight.
start.
We can pull all of
Sisters
our
got to start
hairs out,
helping each
right?
other. Well,
Pause.
earlier I said sisters
But,
need to
but
start
what is it?
helping each other, bro. That's it. Looking out more. Just looking out for instead of being at beefing and
But
with motherfuckers you ain't
sisters
really got no
looking
beef
out.
with. I'm talking about the brothers too, bro. I mean, work
But
on both sides, man.
here's one of the things, though, right? It's like, okay, well, in the near term, right? We got pantries that are gonna basically be bare in the next months or
How
these
you know
these
that?
these
I mean,
these
how do
next
you know
weeks.
that though, bro?
That's a
Who-
fact. That's a
You can't
fact.
say that's a fact.
Have you
Well,
ever?
I mean, you just had two judges.
Let
Hold
me
on, you
give
just
you
had two judges saying Trump got to release these future funds, and I mean, how do you know that?
when is that going to happen
I
though?
mean, they can do that shit the snap of a finger. We know they with this system shit, they can have it ready by Monday.
They have
They
already
can have it
said
ready
that.
by
Even
Friday, bro. I'm just saying
they've
we've
already
seen these
said,
motherfuckers
right,
do some.
they've already said, even if they do say that, right, in
Yeah.
terms of like releasing, they don't know when those funds will be released in terms of being in the hands of the people who need them.
So how can
Right?
you
It,
sit
it
up
could
here
be
and
weak.
say?
It
So
could
how
be
can you sit up
weeks.
here and say the pantry's
It could
gonna
be
be be empty at the
it
end of
could
the
be
month? So
weeks.
how can you hold on? So how
You know
can you
how
sit
I
up here and
know.
say? So
You
you
know
have no
how
right
I
to
know.
say that, bro. You just a doomsday prepper or doomsday
You know how I know.
you don't know that.
No, you know how
To
I
sit up
know.
here and say
I
that with
know.
a surety, nigga, you
No,
sound silly to me.
you know how I know.
How you know?
I know because I was a kid that used to rely on those particular benefits and assistance.
Man, you
And,
don't know if they
and
gonna have
at
benefits
the
on
end of the
sister
month,
stamp. Hold on,
and
bro.
at the end of the month, hold on.
Man, you
At the
just
end of the month,
talking.
I know what our cabinets used to look like towards the end of the month.
That's bro. You talk about 65 years ago. I'm talking about what happened.
So
I'm
now,
talking about.
so yeah, yeah,
No,
a
I know you
hungry
ain't that old.
stomach,
I know you ain't that
a
old.
hungry
I know
stomach,
you ain't that old, bro. Hold
a
on,
hungry
hold on.
stomach.
Bro, what I'm saying,
For
you made a
yeah,
statement. You said,
that's just
hold on, no, bro.
a hungry
You
stomach
trying to,
back then
bro? You
is
trying to
not
move the
the same
goalpost,
thing.
bro? This is
It's
a
not the
real
same thing
move
as today.
goalpost moving move right here. But
No,
what I'm saying,
I
hold
think
on, bro.
you
You
moved.
said, hold on. You the one said,
That's
oh,
how
the
I
pantries.
know.
Hold on. You said the pantries gonna be
Have
empty by the end of the month.
you
Hold
ever
on. You said,
have
hold
you
on, bro.
ever have
Hold on.
you ever
What the day is?
well,
What the day is?
let me ask you what.
Nah, man, you gotta
No,
hold
no,
on, bro. She's gonna say
because
it, bro. Bro, you need to change that name to slick. Like you really,
usually a
bro. Hold on, bro.
family
No,
that's
you
that
said you made a
relies on
statement that
food.
the pantry's gonna be empty by the end of the month. I
Let me
asked you,
ask
how did
you.
you know that when we got two judges who passed a
No,
thing?
no,
You said,
because usually they
but you,
are.
hold
They
on, bro.
are
You need,
usually.
so you can't sit
You're
up
not
here and
gonna
say
let
the
me.
pantry's gonna be empty because, like I said, the
No,
funds could be
usually
on
they
there by the
are.
seventh. Hold on, the
They
funds could
usually
be on
are
there
by the end of the month.
by the next week.
By the end of the month, they usually are empty.
Man, you don't
It's
know.
not
They can
like
have that shit on there. They can have that shit on there by the ninth or whatever day they want to have on there.
by the end of the month. Usually, you're kind of it's like okay, well, you're really kind of
Man, you
scrounging in
stuttering
terms of these
right now,
things.
bro.
So now you don't know absolutely. Have you ever grew up in a family that relied on food assistance?
Man, that has nothing to do with what we talking
Have you?
about,
I'm just asking
bro.
you.
Bro. Come on, man. Why you trying to move the
I'm
goalpost? I
just
need
giving
you to
you. I'm
prove.
just giving you.
Nah,
I'm
man,
just giving you
because you made
firsthand.
that statement. Now you
I'm giving
caught up
you.
in the statement. Now you
I'm a
don't
primary
want
source. I'm giving you examples.
bro. I'm
Have
asking
you
you.
ever
No,
relied
you
on?
said you said the pantry's gonna be empty by the end of
Usually.
November.
No,
Hold on,
no,
bro.
I didn't say
You
that.
said
I didn't
yes,
say
you
by the end
did.
of I said by the end of the month. I didn't say by the end of I said usually.
You know what the day? You know what the
You
day
know what
is?
I
You know what the
said?
day is? The
You know,
day is.
no,
You
no,
know the
don't
beginning
do
of
that.
November,
Don't do that.
right?
I said usually by the end of the month, right? If you're relying on food assistance, right? If you get
Man,
your
you
food
said they ain't
assistance
gonna
at the
have no
beginning.
benefits. Come on,
No,
man. Just
no,
admit you was wrong,
no,
bro. Just admit you
no,
don't
no, no.
you made a
Let
bad
me
statement,
here's what I'm
and you
saying.
don't know if the pantry's
Let
gonna
me
be
tell
empty by
you.
the end of the
Let
month.
me tell you
Because
what
if
I'm
they get
saying.
the food stamps on the
No, no,
goddamn
no,
tenth,
no.
and the systems pack up and
No.
rack up on the 10th,
Let
trust
me
me, the
tell you.
food it
I'm
ain't gonna
here.
be empty
I'm
by the
here.
end of the month.
I'm here. Let me tell you exactly what I'm saying. Right? What
No,
I'm
I know I
saying.
heard exactly
What
what you said, bro. You
what I'm
can't say that
saying.
no
So
more.
what
You
I'm
just
saying
keep
is at the
saying
beginning of the month, if you get your assistance at the beginning of
that.
the
Now you
month,
want to change.
towards the end of the month, it gets low. Right?
Are you serious, B?
Is this
Are you serious, B?
is that rocket science? That's not rocket science. If you get your
Bro, now
assistance
you
at the beginning of the month, towards the end of the month, it gets low.
Bro, see
Right?
now you want to change your premise. First you
Right?
said they
So
ain't gonna
now,
get the
so
stamps.
now,
Hold
so
on, bro. First
now
you
at the
said,
end of the
nah,
month,
man, bro,
it's
you was a
low,
slick. I see why you got on that
and
suit and tie.
you
You a too
rely
slick, bro.
at the
You just
beginning of the
said they
month
ain't gonna get the stamp. Hold on,
for
your
the
first reason was
for
because they weren't giving
to
out the stamps, so
replenish
the pantry's gonna be empty.
replenish
Now you want to change
the
it.
the assistance
Man,
that
get
was
out of here,
happening
bro.
at the
I don't even
beginning
know
of the
why I'm
month.
talking to you, bro.
Are you are you do you not understand how resource allocation works?
bro, you don't want to make the statement say they ain't gonna give out the food stamps, so the pantry's gonna be empty by the end of the month. And I said, how
Yes,
you know that? Because the judge said he gonna pass the law, and now you want to change
you
it.
don't know that. We don't know that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You the one who
You
made the
don't know
direct
that.
statement.
You
Oh yeah,
don't
the
know
pantry's gonna
that.
be empty. I the
You're
one who questioned you, bro, and
what
said,
I'm
how do you?
saying. What
Nah,
I'm
nah,
Nah,
bro,
saying is
you
that they get
nah,
you's a
low
nah.
double
towards the
talker,
end of the
bro.
month.
You's a double
I don't.
Madon,
talker, bro.
You don't under.
Madon.
I think you're just running.
What he
You're just
said, what
saying
he
things
said was normally the pantries are dry at the end of the month when
towards the
people
end
are
of the month.
recipients.
But Psycho, he made a statement. He said they ain't gonna give out the food stamps. Hold on, you gotta hear me out now. He said they ain't gonna give out the food stamps, so the pantry's gonna be empty at the end of the month. And I said, hold on.
They
And I said,
are
how do you
dry
know
at the
that?
end of
Hold
the
on.
month.
And I said, hold on, bro. And so Psycho, that's what made me say, well, you
It's
know they
not
said.
no.
Hold on, so Psycho, hold on,
Really,
you gotta, hold
really
on.
dying at the end of
So
the month
Psycho,
with no
that's the reason why.
allocation.
So Psycho, that's the reason why I said, well, you know the judges passed the law said that Trump got to release this and release that. That's the only reason I said that because he said they're not gonna give out the food stamps, so the
No.
pantry's gonna be empty by the end of the month.
Here's the thing. Did you in terms of that court ruling, there is no immediate allocation of funds,
So
right?
you don't know
There,
if they
there,
hold
there
on if they release
no
the funds on
there
the
is
10th.
no there
Hold on.
is
So
no
let me ask you a
immediate
question. If they
allocation of
release the
funds.
funds on the 15th, hold on. So
They
let me
said
ask you
that.
something. If they release the funds on
No,
the
no, no,
15th
no,
and all
no,
the
no,
sisters go shopping on the
no,
15th,
no.
will the pantry be empty by the end of the month?
There's already contingencies in place across a lot of different states saying that okay, well, if the federal judges say that hey, you have to release the funds, no, that's no immediate allocation of that, right? So people who would normally need their funds that are allocated on the first or the fourth or the seventh or whatever, they're gonna have to wait because you have to figure out, okay, well, in terms of the releasing of those funds, when is that going to happen? We don't know when that's going to happen,
So
right?
right. So you
The
can't say the
fund
pantry's gonna be
allocation
empty by the end
has
of the
been
month.
disrupted.
So you
The
can't
fund
sit up here and
allocation
say,
has been disrupted. That's what
man,
I'm
bro, you
saying.
cannot,
It
bro.
has
Listen, I
been.
know, bro. You want you, bro.
It's been
You reaching for
disrupted.
straws now, bro. You just drowning,
No, it's been disrupted, right?
man.
So
Like I
we're
said, bro.
talking about
That's the
people
only
who are
reason I made
already
that statement.
suffering from food insecurity and instability have been disrupted even further, right? Because look, I'll be honest with you, they're not going to
Bro,
get
you ain't
their.
being honest, bro. How much trust you to say that, boy? When you ain't been honest about the conversation we've been having, you won't
I'm
admit.
absolutely honest.
So
So
don't say, "Let me be
when was
honest,"
that
when you
court
ain't been
ruling?
honest.
When did that court
Well,
ruling
you know
happen,
what? You can say, "Let me be
bro?
honest," because
Bro,
that
bro, bro.
proves you ain't been honest.
Bro?
So you like, go
When
ahead.
was
So be honest now, bro. Come on.
but Madon, when did that
Now,
court
now,
ruling
just be
happen?
honest now, bro. You said,
I'm
"Let's be
asking
honest."
you.
Let me
I'm
be honest,
asking you a
bro.
question though. When was that court? When did that court ruling happen?
Bro, they just,
When
bro. I'm just, I just
when
heard
did that
about this.
happen?
I
Right?
think today or
Because
last night.
people.
Yes, I
Okay,
think it
so
was yesterday.
it was yesterday.
Right.
People were relying. Some people were relying on their SNAP benefits to hit their accounts today. Right?
So what? That don't
They
mean their
didn't,
pantry gonna be empty at the
and
end
they
of the month.
didn't, and
That
they
don't mean
didn't
their
happen,
pantry gonna
and
be
they
empty
didn't
by the
happen
end of the
today.
month because
Right? No,
they
no,
might
no.
release
No,
it. They can release
remember
it.
what I
They can
told you.
release it tomorrow. They can release
Usually,
it on the
no,
10th. They can
no,
release it
no,
on the
no.
17th.
You
They
don't
can
know
release
that.
it on the
Madon, you're
15th.
missing the point.
You don't know
Madon, you're
that.
missing the
You don't
point.
know that.
Their
I don't.
pantries
I
are
don't.
no, Madon, you're missing the point. Their pantries are already dry.
It's
They're
already
dry. They dry
towards the
already. They
end of
didn't
the
get none
month.
today.
But hold on, Psycho. But what if they release it? Like I was telling him, he don't know if they're gonna be empty by the
No,
end of the
I'm talking
month.
about
they're
the
already
October money is
in a
gone
position.
already. The October food
And
stamps is
they're
done. It's
already
dried
in a
up.
position of insecurity,
No,
bro.
we're talking about November. It's November now. He
Right,
said by
and
the
they
end of
didn't
this
get
month,
nothing. I'm down. Which part are you? Which part is
bro.
like
You,
seriously? Are you trolling? Are you
yeah,
trolling right
Bro,
because
now?
nah, bro,
you
Are you
y'all
never
trolling.
are you
Y'all
trolling?
you
trolling,
must
bro.
you
I
have
mean, you
never.
trying to help him out.
Keep
And
repeating
here's the
yourself.
thing:
Stop, Madonna,
you
stop.
must
Because
have
you keep repeating
never
yourself.
Y'all
relied
bugging out, bro.
Either you're trolling or
on
there's a
food
disconnect.
stamps or
So
anything.
there's either you're trolling or there's a disconnect. So
Nah,
so
y'all got the disconnect.
listen real quick. Listen. Because you keep repeating
Nah, bro,
yourself. I
y'all
know what
bugging.
you're gonna say. I don't need you to keep repeating it. Listen, they got money in October. That money is dried up now. They was expecting money that in November that they're not getting. These pantries are dry right now. They didn't get any money in November.
Facts.
So now their
Psycho.
pantries are dry. Let's
Okay,
do it
so
right
but
here.
so hold on.
I don't want to hear
So
about the
how
end of
many?
November.
So
We
how
talk
many
about
days
right now.
so how many
Right
days we
now.
got left to the
Pantries
end of
dry.
November? So how many days do we have left to the end of November?
do you know what today is?
Man, of course I know what the day is, nigga. That's why I said you the one made the statement talking
Usually,
about by the end of this month. And I said,
what I'm
okay, so
saying, usually it would be allocated now, right? You would get
no shit,
those
bro.
things
But I'm just
allocated now,
saying, you. That's why I
right?
said, bro. You said at the end of no, by the end of November. You said the end of the month. So I said you talking about the end of November. So what if they? That's why I said. That's why I made the statement. If
Today
they
is the
release
allocation.
it, okay, right. If they pantries might be empty right now, but if they release these funds on like the 10th or the 15th or whatever, their pantries won't be empty by the end of November, bro, because they
No,
released
no,
the funds.
but
That's all I was
you're
saying.
saying
Because
if,
you the
but
one
you
who said
don't
they ain't gonna have
know,
nothing
but
by the
you
end of
don't know
November.
that, but you don't know that.
You don't either, and that's why I
Well,
made
no,
the statement, bro. You the
no,
one
no,
saying the
because
definite.
right
You the
now,
one who said, hold
no,
on,
no,
bro.
no,
You the
no,
one
because
made the statement that by the end of
right now,
November, the pantries
there
gonna
is no
be empty, bro.
guarantee. There is
You
no
made that statement,
guarantee.
not me. You the
No,
one who said by the
there
end of
is
this
no
month. You the
guarantee.
one said by the end of this month, the
No,
pantries
there
gonna
is
be
no
empty, bro.
guarantee. They are in a dire,
Exactly. So you
they are
can't
in
make
a
that
dire
statement.
strait of food insecurity right now. They don't
No
know when they're
shit.
going to get those
But you
funds.
don't
You
know if
can't
they're
say
gonna be the
that.
same by the end of
You don't
November.
know that.
You don't
Oh, okay.
either, and
Well,
that's the point I'm
we
making.
don't know if
That's what I'm
it's
trying
going
to
to
show
come.
you your
Well,
flaw,
we
bro.
don't. Well,
All
we
right,
don't
bro.
know if
You,
it's going to
bro.
come next
Listen,
year
man.
either. Well,
You
we
a
don't
double
know if it's
talker,
going to
bro.
come in the
You a
summer
double
of
talker,
next year,
man.
right? They don't know when they will get their next allocation. Here's and
So you
lies
don't
the
know if it's
problem.
gonna be
You
empty by
don't
the end
know.
of November. You don't
You
know.
don't
That's
know.
what I told you. Now you want to flip it, man. Get out of here, man. I don't even know why I'm still talking to you, bro. You was lost,
It's horrible, right?
man.
Because you're not the one that has to rely on those assistance programs,
Man, that's not
right?
the
You don't
point,
have
man.
to.
That's not the point. Now, you made a direct statement as if you was a prophet and said by the end of November the pantry's gonna be empty. And I said, well,
They're
hey,
already
wait a minute.
empty.
And that's why no shit. That don't mean by the end of November it's still gonna be that way if we don't know if they're gonna release
You
funds.
don't know when they're gonna hit.
You don't either. So you can't
See?
say by the end of November.
So now we're flipping the coin
No,
No,
he
I
can't
again.
know
say it
flipping
by
the
the
And
end
coin.
of
I've
the
been making
listen,
the same.
but Don,
I've
here's
been
why
the
you
saying the
keep
issue.
same
repeating
shit
that?
for an
Don,
And
hour.
then this is the
Don, you're
point.
building a
And I
straw
think
man.
this is
You
the
are
point.
totally building a straw man, Madon.
And
He's saying
this is the
that you
point.
keep talking about by the end of November the pantries are going to be dry. They already dry. You keep missing that
Exactly.
part. They already dry. You got to get filled in order to be like for what you're talking about.
Okay, so
They
no,
are
he the
dry
one
right
who
now.
said
And
at the
now
end of November.
and
Okay, they right. Okay,
only
right.
worse, Psycho,
Okay,
they
if they
don't know
empty
when they're
now,
gonna be filled
hold on, though,
again.
Psycho.
And they
If they
don't know
empty
when
now,
they're gonna be
hold
filled
on.
again.
Okay, Psycho, let's
So they're
agree.
already dry.
Like I already said, yes, they empty now, but like I
Yes.
told this
And
brother,
you don't know. You don't
you
know
can't say you don't either. You the one who said by the end of
So
November they're gonna
now
be dry.
we're
So I
waiting,
told that's why I kept saying
and we're waiting,
that's why I brought up the
and we're
two
waiting,
judges telling the
and
federal
we're
government
waiting,
that Trump he gotta release it. So that's
and
why I
we're
told
waiting.
you you don't know if they're gonna I said so if they release it
And
on the
what we know
15th or the
today,
17th,
but what you know
the hell
what
you
we
talking
know
about, bro?
today, you know what we know today? That those pantries are empty, and those families are suffering with food insecurity right now. That's what we do know.
Bro, I've been said I agree with that. What the hell you talking about?
Okay, well, what are you talking about?
Bro,
All of this
because you made a
weirdness.
direct
We
prophet,
can
you
wait
made
to
a
do this.
direct statement like you was a
No,
prophet
it's
and
not a
said by the
prophet.
end of November,
It's no
bro. The end.
prophesying.
Okay, I see if
No,
the end of November was next week, and I was like, well, yeah, you right, bro. They gonna
no,
be empty,
they're empty now.
bro. But it's not the end of November though. It's not the end of the month.
No, it's now.
But we don't know what's gonna happen, bro. That's what I'm saying. You don't
You
want to
don't
make a
know. You
direct
don't know. But
statement.
what we do know
I
is
know
that
I don't know, so
what
I'm not
you
gonna
do
make a
know.
direct
Yes,
statement and say by
what
the end
you
of
know what,
November.
Madon, you know what we
I'm
do
not gonna
know,
sit up here and say by the end of November the pantry's
Madon,
gonna be empty because I
Madon.
don't know,
You
and
know
neither
what
do
we
you,
do
nigga.
know. You know what we do know is that those families are suffering food insecurity right now.
No shit, Sherlock. That's why we got the crash
There you
out
go.
happening online. I've
Stop it
been
right
telling you
there.
that.
Yes, they are.
Oh man,
So
you the
leave it.
double talker, bro.
You
Get out of
just
here,
admitted it. There you go.
man. Sit your ass up, bro.
Nobody.
You cannot, bro.
They're
You all
suffering food
bro. You looking bad
insecurity
out here,
right
bro.
now.
When you listen to this back, you gonna hear our badges. I don't know if you've been drinking or something, bro. That's
No,
got
I'm just saying.
that got you in a double consciousness.
No, I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? But bro, you made man. Like I said,
I'm
man,
just
you the
saying,
one
bro.
who you can't clean that up, bro. You want to clean it up now.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying you gotta be honest sometimes, bro. Quit come up
Again,
off the
right? It's
bullshit.
not me. It's I have more of I guess you'd say more feelings for people that have are impacted by it, right? It's not me, you know. it's but I do feel I do feel for it. You know.
What up, fellas? Can I say
That's
something?
just like me
Yeah.
saying by the end of the month, the government's still gonna be shut down. Nigga, I
Yeah.
can't say that. I don't know
No,
that.
but it's shut down right now though.
Bro, but I can't sit on here and say by the end of
But you
November it's
can
still gonna
say,
be shut down. I can't.
but you
That's
can say it's
that's
shut
a
down
lie.
right now though.
But bro, I can't
Can,
sit up
can
here
you
like you
admit? Can
did
you admit
and
that
try
now?
and try to say by the end of November the government's
But,
still gonna be shut down.
oh my
Nigga,
God,
I don't know that, and you don't either.
can you admit that it's shut down right now?
That's not the
Right?
point. The point is you put a
I think that
primary
is
date.
the point.
You
I
made
think
a
that is the
primary
point.
date, bro. You made a primary date, which is a lie, which is in the future.
Oh,
You
I
can't
think
say
that's
that.
the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right now,
Man,
families are
you
faced with
trying to clean it up,
insecurity.
and you
Families
ain't
are
doing a good job.
faced with hunger and all these things, right? It's not, you know, these are real things.
Bro, that was a scare tactic. You try to. If I came on here and just said,
No,
"Yeah,
it's
man,
not.
the government gonna be shut down by no, it's still gonna be shut down by
Yeah,
November 1st,"
I'm not
motherfucker,
saying
but Don, shut your ass up.
yeah, what's the day, right?
Oh, you don't even
Hey,
know
can
the
I
day.
add something
It's
real quick,
November
fellas?
1st, right?
That's
So
why I'm telling you,
ironically,
bro.
it's
That's what
November
I'm,
1st right now, and it's shut down, right?
bro. That's what I'm telling
So
you. So
yeah,
you can't say about it. You know how many days in November?
it's shut down now,
Hold on,
right?
bro. How many days in November?
Well, no,
Answer
you're
the
moving the
question, bro. How
goalpost.
many days in November?
You're moving the goalposts right
I ain't
now.
moving on the goddamn
What I'm
goalpost. We
saying,
still talking
no,
about the days end of the month.
what I'm saying is that
I'm
right now,
All
I'm
right, bro.
talking
You're
about right
terrible.
now. No, what I'm saying right now, today.
We know
Right?
that right now,
We're
bro.
talking
But
about
you made a direct
we're talking
statement.
about dry pantries.
Do you
We're
know
talking
how
about
many
people
days in
who are
November?
suffering. We're
Do
talking
you
about
know?
people who are.
Why
We're
can't you
talking
tell me
about
how many
people.
days in November? Just say you don't know.
No, we're talking about people who are
Bro, you should
suffering
know
right
that right off
today.
the top of your head,
Right.
bro. You
No,
should
we're
know
talking about
automatically
people
how
who are
many days in
suffering
November
right
right off the top of your head, bro.
bro.
That's
I'm
what I'm
just
saying,
saying
bro.
this is the issue.
This is
This
why.
is the
This is
problem
why.
is that we have people who are suffering today.
Yeah, man.
We have people who are suffering today, right or wrong.
Hey, can I add something real quick, fellas?
What's up? What's up, brother?
Hey, Chris, man,
What's
'cause
up?
this
All
guy
right.
here, so.
All right. So,
And I know our stock market is booming, right? And I'm making as much money as I ever made in my life. Chris, I know you are too,
yeah.
right?
I mean, that's good. I
I
don't
know
care
you
about
are,
that right
right?
now. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to add,
That's not the question right now.
Let that
right?
man ask what he
We're
wants,
talking
bro.
about the people who are suffering, right?
Correct. Yeah. What I wanted to add, I was listening to the conversation. I say y'all both right, and I showed this on Q's channel because I volunteered for a feed in Georgia because of this, and so I can't speak for every state or every area, but right now in the area that I'm at, they still got food. The issue is when Thanksgiving comes and when Christmas comes, because they don't think they're gonna have food for Thanksgiving in my specific area. Um, as of right now, because we're stocking boxes today. For the area that I'm at, we got plenty of food, but they don't know how long it's gonna last until the Senate stop doing this stupid shit. So I recommend anybody can donate if you want to donate money to these different organizations. If you got time, you know, volunteer an hour, 2 hours of your time to help people out. So
That's a good call out. That's a good call out, Chris.
yeah. If y'all don't believe me,
I
I can
definitely,
show y'all the
I definitely
emails
be,
that I
I'll
am
definitely be
volunteering.
doing it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've already reached out proactively, and as well, right? Reach out proactively to your families, right? Everybody know who in their family may need some assistance or whatever. Reach out to them proactively, right? You should don't wait on a phone call, right? Give them a call yourself, right? Say check on them. Hey, you good? This and you good that? You know. Yeah, we all know.
but
Because
I do have
you
a
know what
criticism though.
now because you know what
Mhm.
in the time of need, that's not the time for you to be wagging that stinking finger in front of people's face.
That's right.
Don't be wagging that finger in front of anybody's face now that when people are in need.
That's right.
Because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you
That's
better
right.
check the chain.
There you go.
But no, man, that's what I said, man. We gotta be serious as a people, man. And be serious
Because
about
because
how
because
we gonna
this is the
deal
time,
with
the
the
whole
situation in
time,
the time at this time, man.
the entire time. That's why you put something back for a rainy day, right? That's why you save. That's why you prepare. So that you can be that what they call it on the you can be that hedge, or you can help people out, right?
Right.
Well, the first thing is, man, we gotta get our people mind right. That's the problem, bro. That's
Yeah,
the real root. That's the root of the problem.
yeah.
Is that our mind, bro? You know what I mean? It ain't necessarily about job, woo woo woo. Yeah, to a degree it is, but the real problem is the mind of the people, bro. That's the real problem. Our people, you know what I'm saying? That's the real problem. You know what I'm saying? We gotta fix that first.
We can fix the
If you
mind.
can't fix shit,
But
we
what
can
you gonna do?
try.
You can't fix a broke mind with a hungry body.
That's right.
How you gonna do that?
Uh, the
Yeah,
what's we call it? They do it all the time.
you can't do it.
Yes,
You
you
can't
can.
do it.
Hmm.
You can't.
Yeah, you can do it.
You can't fix a broke mind with a hungry body. Stop.
Yes, you can, man. Anything is possible in this life, man.
Yeah.
For as healing, when it comes to healing people, bro, I don't count out anything.
Okay.
We see, we
Okay.
see,
Yeah.
we see, we see people over in India fasting and all kind of shit for months.
It's
I'm
good.
just saying,
Yeah.
bro. Anything is possible when it comes to man, as far as not being on some
Mm-hmm.
super human
Mm-hmm.
shit like D.A.B.A.T.E, not no X-Men shit. I'm just saying, as far as like
Yeah.
we've
That's
seen
the
things that people
your
would call
Bible
so-called
preaches
miracles.
that. Your
So what?
Bible preaches that a
No,
hungry
nature and
stomach.
science shows that.
Your Bible preaches a
Nature
hungry
and
stomach.
science has proven that,
A
bro. I
hungry
don't got to
stomach
go
try
to
to
a book to
preach a
see what
soul to
mankind. Hold
a
on, bro.
hungry
I don't have to
stomach.
go to a book to
Huh?
see what mankind been doing, bro. I can see.
Listen,
I can observe it right now in real time, nigga.
I asked you a direct question.
Bro, you trying to go to the book? You
You
trying to
gonna
make
preach
it
to a
about a
soul
damn
with a
book?
hungry
What I'm
stomach?
showing you, we are the book. See, you
Huh?
caught up in the book, bro. We are the book. Is what you don't understand. You got,
Mm,
you know.
yeah.
So, but ask your question.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I just asked you. So you're gonna preach to a soul with a hungry stomach?
Bro, it ain't about. See, that's what I'm saying. It ain't
You
about
gonna
preaching. See,
fat?
you got
You
this
want to
preaching.
fast?
Something
You
because what you got to
children?
do. Hold on, hold on, hold
You
on.
gonna
See,
start a
what you
fast?
fail to realize. See, this what I'm saying, bro. Bro, you
Children,
is. That's how you so silly, bro. Quit being silly,
children
bro.
shouldn't fast.
Bro, get out of your feelings, man.
I'm just
Get out of your
asking you.
feelings. Your emotionalism
I'm
is
no,
not is not helping, man. All I'm telling you is
I'm
this.
just asking.
All I'm telling, all I'm telling you is this, right? We
Yes.
know that one word, what a word is like a seed, right? That's what a word is
Yeah,
in real life.
you playing a word.
A word can be a word is a seed to a whole bunch of degree, right? You can put a word in a person's mind, right?
Well, you hear
And then hold on, put that word in a person's mind, right? And if that person
that
take
devil
hold of that
stomach. That
seed, which was
stomach.
that word, right?
Yeah.
In an
Ooh wee.
instant, right? In an instant, instantaneously, that person can be transformed or not. The seed might stay dormant,
I
like
am
some seeds
so
do.
full
But
of
if you
that
put
word.
water, hold on, if you put water on that seed in the form of wisdom, and that seed can take root instantly within that person's mind. They can transform overnight. But you don't understand the science. That's science. That's been proven. That's not no biblical.
How many
Yes, in the
calories?
Bible,
How
but
many
we see
calories
that.
are in
We
that
see that
word?
all the time.
Human body
Words can
requires
change.
calories.
Words. Hold on. Words inspire. Words can trigger people instantly, bro. One word. We seen how one word can make a motherfucker crash out. We seen how one word can make a motherfucker a millionaire. We think, bro, I'm saying the power of one word, which is the seed in a person's mind, can sprout to a like a mustard seed, nigga. That's what I'm telling you. So yes, to answer your question about a broken mind and a hungry stomach, there you have it.
Yeah. Guess they'll have to wait, right? It gets there out the way.
Well, certain things can make a person get up instantly and react and go straight forward. I mean, we see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We see it on all levels in the hood. The OGs put a seed in a young nigga mind. Next thing you know, this young nigga coming up hustling and bubbling. Even though we might see that as negative, but we see how that one word or certain words put into that youngster mind just on that level. We see it all throughout whatever, without all our endeavors, bro. You once you
You
plant
know
that
I
seed.
understand that, Madon. You know I do.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm
Don't
just still
pretend I
answering.
don't
I'm showing
understand
you
what you're
how.
saying.
I'm showing you how
But you understand
your.
what I'm saying as well, right?
Of course I do, bro. What I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
there you go. That's what I'm
You can
saying.
conquer hunger
You
with the
know what I'm
mind at
saying.
times, bro. You can conquer
You
hunger
know
with
what
the
I'm saying.
mind.
You know what I'm
You can
telling
conquer
you. You
hunger
can't
with the
have
mind is
babies.
what I'm showing you.
You can't have babies out
You
here.
can conquer
You know.
hunger with
Come
the
on.
mind is what
You
I'm
know what
telling
I'm
you.
saying. Come on. Come on, bro. You know, you yeah, I don't know why you
I'm
pretending
giving
like you
you
don't
advice,
understand
bro.
what
I'm
I'm
giving
telling
you advice. But you know, I should be charging you.
you.
But
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah, I don't know. You've been in the you've been to the projects before. You've been to a project house with no food and looked and didn't see any food in the cabinets.
Yeah,
Haven't you?
of course.
You
That's the
from
reality we
Mississippi, right?
live in.
You
So,
from Mississippi, right?
I ain't
We're
from no
from Alabama.
Mississippi, man.
I'm sorry, Alabama, right?
Man, I'm
Hmm?
from Earth.
Right. I'm just saying. Have you not seen people
Of
who are
course.
in need? Right.
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course.
Hey,
That's
right.
how I can speak on it.
Right. And that's I'm coming from the same place, right? So and that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, I'm not necessarily trying to wag my finger
Okay, let me ask you a question. So, what was the root?
in these
What was
people's
the root?
faces
Hold on.
saying that
Within
they
that,
need to
hold on, bro.
do
Let me ask you this.
this and
Let me ask
that,
you this. Hold on, bro. Quit being a fast talker. Let me ask you
No,
this.
no, I'm not
Hold
talking
on, bro.
fast
Just
at all.
calm down. Calm down, bro. Let me
No,
ask you this
I'm
real quick,
fine.
bro. Let me ask you this, bro. Bro, come
Right.
on, man. Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Within those households that you seen that in, what was the root cause of the problem?
I can't say. There's a lot of different
Now
ways.
you can't say.
I can't.
Man,
I
you
can't.
gonna
I
talk
don't know.
all this shit, and now you telling me you can't say?
I
That
gotta
let me know
see.
your
I
ass
have to
ain't seen
not
a
know.
goddamn thing. If you don't know the
I have
root
to know.
cause of these things, bro, you
I have to know.
capping, man.
I have to
If you
know the
can't explain to me what was the root cause in these houses, bro, what the hell you talking about? If you can't give our people an explanation, bro, you just woofing.
there's a lot of different ways in
But
terms
what
of
you just said,
issues.
you said you couldn't tell me. So, bro, you gotta stop. That's
I'm
what I'm
just
saying, bro.
saying there's a
You
lot of
breaking the funk, man.
different issues,
Hey,
right?
hey, there was a dude came out
Are
called
there?
MC
Are there
Breeze,
not?
right? He had a song called "Ain't No Future in Your Frontin'."
So you know all the different
Tell me you
situations.
stop fronting, bro.
What were the causes and the solutions, right? Because right now, since you know all these causes and the solutions, you should
I
have the
don't know that.
universal answer.
All I asked you was
You
what was the
should
root.
have the universal answer to all of them, right?
Oh man, I
Do
just
you
asked
have the
you one
since
question.
now you know?
Now you want to
Do
flip
you
it.
know?
It's okay, brother.
It sounds like you know. Do you?
Hey man, I just asked you one simple question. Now you want what you got.
I'm asking you
So
one
now
simple question, right? Do you have the
I'm done,
universal
bro.
cause and
Uh,
answer
uh,
for all of it?
Monica,
Do you?
Monica might Doctor Mo
I'm just
might want
asking
to talk.
you.
Nah, man, I'm done talking to you, bro. Bro,
I'm just
you
asking.
remind me, you remind me of now. This is the truth.
We you know
Oil
we
sales.
don't.
You're oil sales. You're a snake oil salesman, bro. I don't want to talk to you no more.
No,
Man,
man, I
Madonna,
know. But
crazy.
Don, you
No,
know,
no,
I got love
Chris.
for you, Madon,
I'm
because
speaking with truth, bro.
we
I
two
know it might
we
sound a
two
little
brothers
harsh,
we
but
two
now
brothers from the South,
we're in
and you
serious
know,
times.
and
Like a lot of
that's
people
why
been telling, we in
and
serious
that's why I'm
times,
being
and
serious
this
right
brother
now.
want to sit on here and buck dance to the bootleg,
I'm
and I
telling
don't
you,
know why. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know why
Hey,
why
listen,
you
you
saying that.
know
I
me.
don't know why
I
you
ain't finna
saying that.
tiptoe through nothing. We gotta call it all out: the
I don't
good,
know
the
why
bad, and the
you don't
ugly.
love dancing.
I'm not talking hate.
Because I'm
I'm
being
talking about
dead
what's
serious.
reality, bro. But hey, man,
We got
listen.
hungry babies out here now. I'm not out here trying to,
Exactly, nigga. What you talk about?
I'm not out here
It been
trying to
hungry babies
do
out
nothing.
here.
I'm
How
telling
can
you.
you say you free and happy and we got babies been starving?
When did I say that?
Baby, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You say, oh, I got this. Oh, Chris, I'm living. We doing well, ain't we,
I
Chris?
didn't say that.
Well,
I'm just
yeah. You know what I mean?
no,
Chris, like, hold on, bro. I ain't come on here to talk about this.
No, what I'm saying is that no,
I know exactly what
it's
you're saying. You one of the
it's hard
bourgeoisie
times.
Negroes, bro. You want to sit
It's
up
hard
here
times. No,
amongst us,
it's hard times because
brag about
it's
what you
hard
got.
times for one. It's hard
I
times
got
for
this.
all.
I'm living
It's
it up.
hard times for all.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying, King. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds like. That's what I hear
it's
when you
hard
speak
times
like
for
that.
all.
That's what I hear. And I was raised around wolves, my nigga. So I'm just saying, man, nigga, when you talk like that, bro, I'm gonna call it out. Uh,
Call it out.
call it what you want,
Let me
man.
know.
But I'm just saying, King, you got to be
This
able
is
to answer these questions.
and
You got to be able
I've
to
been
answer these questions. When I ask you a
and
question,
I've been brought
when
around
I ask
people
you a
who are
question, my nigga,
indifferent.
you got to be able to answer that.
And I've also been brought
When
around
you
people
keep,
who are
when you, I mean,
absolutely
you made that's your
indifferent,
prime goddamn
that
thing.
are
Oh, but Don,
indifferent
do you know
in
what
terms
about
of
these
hard
houses and
times
these
for
baby
somebody
stars?
else.
Oh, but Don, what
I've,
have you ever been raised in a house
also
where there wasn't nothing? And I
I've
asked you, bro,
also
what was the
been
root cause
and
of this shit? And
I've
you couldn't even
also
give us the
and,
goddamn answer.
and I
Bro, I'm
and I,
dissatisfied, and I'm
there
gonna
is no
mute my
single
mic.
answer
I'm gonna mute
because
my
there
mic
is
because
no
I'm
single
highly
answer.
dissatisfied that you come on here act like you got all this
There is
prestige,
no single answer.
educated wisdom to give the people, but bro, you're slacking and
There
you're
is
lacking.
no single answer to that. But
But I'm gonna mute my mic.
what I will say is like we don't have to go through what we're going through right now. We don't have to do that. This is self-inflicted.
Damn, but Don went on mute.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man, this brother be sitting up here just tiptoeing, man. I was giving other people
I'm
some
not.
talk, man.
I'm
You
not.
understand? So,
I'm not.
But
I'm just
Don, you
gonna
gonna
sit up here.
volunteer, man, to help people out, bro?
Oh yeah, man, most deaf, man. You know me. So, man, I'm all about helping people be good every day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And so,
And I'll say this: volunteer to your closest family first. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They always say charity starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like do charity close to home first.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to give something out, give it to your cousins, give it to your uncles, your aunties, all of that kind of stuff, right? And do
Mm-hmm.
that first, right? I'm not. I ain't lying to you. You know how we were brought up.
That's a fact.
Yeah, charity starts at home, man.
And Madon, you on record, man. You say you're gonna volunteer, bro.
Chris, you ain't got to do that, brother.
I'm just saying, you on record. I'm gonna
Hey,
hold you to
I
it, man.
mean, oh man, Chris, you gonna do me like that, bro?
Yeah.
I believe in you, Madon, man. I love you. You funny, but
Man,
we
I
gotta
just
get
it's real,
serious on
man.
this
I
one.
just say what's supposed to be said. What's real. I know, it hits the wrong way, but it's okay. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
American society has been hitting us all kind of ways. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing. You should be more offended about what the hell I say than what this cracker and this beast system and what you know even some of our own people been doing to us. So you know, I know a lot of people get, hey, it is what it is. I'm call it out because I seen it and I've been through it. A lot of the shit. So that's how I can speak on it. Unlike Sirius B,
Yeah, come on. So I haven't been through it as
I'm
well.
just saying you couldn't answer your
Come on,
question, bro.
man.
You pressed me about Madonna. Have you ever been in a house when the cupboards were empty and woo 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 woo? And
Huh?
I asked you one question:
What
what was
was
the
it?
root of these problems?
There is no root
And you
cause.
couldn't give us
There's
an
no
answer,
one.
bro. So,
There's no
bro,
one.
so
There's no
what
one
I'm saying,
answer.
it ain't about ain't no one answer.
Do
You
you
couldn't
think?
give us an answer because that's what you told us. So
Right?
that's what I'm saying,
Do
bro.
you think
You gotta
there's
be
an answer?
you should be prepared. Your answer should have been so long. We should
There
have
is
been hold
no.
on, bro.
There
You
is no.
been long winded.
There
That's
is
how
no
your
root.
answer should have
There is no
been.
root.
We should have
There's
been
no
telling
root.
you, hold on, bro. We got you. But no, man. You
There is no root answer. So
all right,
what
man.
is
Whatever.
your answer is like we gotta do better.
Bro, I asked you
Black
what was the
folks
root
gotta.
cause
Black
of these
folks gotta
pantries being
do
empty in these households that you told us about. You kept pressing me about like you had lived in a Madonna, you ever been in a
better. I have.
household back in the day with woo woo woo. And I asked you what was the root cause of the problem of why these households was like that back in the day. And you said you don't know. So my thing is this, bro. You're lying. And the truth ain't in it. Because you should have been gave us a
So
full fledged answer.
those
You should
pantries
have been
weren't
gave. You
there.
should have been able to
I'm a
expound on
lie.
that for at
I'm a
least,
lie.
bro. You
Those
should have been
pantries
able to
aren't there.
expound on that for a goddamn 5 minutes. You could have gave us 20 seconds, but you couldn't give us nothing.
Those pantries aren't there. Right? That's a
No,
whole
I asked
lie.
you what was the root cause of these households to have these empty pantries, but you couldn't give us
What
an
is it?
answer, bro. So it's too late.
You
It's too
give
late, bro.
you give
It's
me
too
the
late.
answer.
Too late. But it's
No,
okay, serious.
I'm not in a debate
I
with
have to
you.
give
I'm
you
not
this.
in a
I
debate
got to
with
give you
you.
this discipline. That way,
Right. No, no,
you know better next time. You can't have no
no,
excuses.
no. I'm
So
just saying.
I'm not giving you no room to have excuses. You know what I mean? Because I'm your brother.
I hear you,
Because
big
you
dog.
my brother and I'm your brother. So we got to be prepared.
We are
Because
brothers.
if you can't answer my
And
question,
you know
you
what?
can't deal with this devil. You can't
No,
deal with this beast. This
and
white
we
man
are
is shooting
brothers,
you up like goddamn.
bro. And we are brothers. And we are brothers. I will say
I'm
that.
just saying, bro. We
You
gotta
know,
be ready. You know what I'm saying? We can't be over here
and you know,
stuttering and fluttering and
and you know what, and
tiptoeing.
you
And
know what,
come on, bro. Get it together, dude.
and you know what,
Let's get it
and
together.
we in hard times right now, right? So it's not just
We've
about
been in
okay,
hard
well,
time. What are you
the,
talking
the,
about, bro?
it's not about the tit for tat right now, right? It's not that I'm not in the ring with you right now. I'm trying
You
to
know
win a
what Martin
debate.
Luther King said? Hard
Right?
times
What did he
don't
say?
last. Strong people do. And
Yeah,
that's been
there you go.
proven.
There you go.
That's what you gotta think about, bro. Hard times don't last, strong people do. That's some real shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've been going through hard times.
Maybe we can chew on
Who
that,
been
right?
through more hard times than black people? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Come on,
That's
bro.
that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact, right? That's a fact.
Hey, peace, everybody.
What
Hey,
up?
Hey,
what's up? What's up, Mo?
People say that, but times were different then, and things were a lot cheaper. Inflation wasn't so high, and I know people harp on the lack of SNAP. But what do you think gonna happen to those same grocery stores that you shop in who don't get SNAP? They gonna feel the impact, and we already in some of these underserved areas. They don't. Most of them either have one grocery store or live 30 to 45 minutes away from a grocery store. Your farmers have already, opportunities have already been taken away from them. So access to local food markets or farmers markets, that's going to get scarce as well. And so I really don't think that sometimes people don't realize how much the assistance you may be pointing at the low income person, but a lot of that aid also benefits the provider, which are those grocery stores, are those farmers. So, sometimes we need to look at it from that angle as well. Like, yeah, you hear the cry from the people who need the assistance, but oh, don't you worry. It's gonna affect you too when you won't have access to some of the things that you used to get because those dollars that were being paid based on SNAP was sustaining those stores or those farmers or those local mom and pop stores. That it will trickle down. So everything you're talking about, I'm sure I hope you're prepared to sustain in that manner, because you will be using some of those tactics you're talking about very soon if it remains. And SNAP is not shut down; they suspended it because there's a built-in contingency plan for SNAP. They just not releasing it.
Right, you still like 6 billion or so dollars, right?
Right,
Right.
right.
That
So
mm,
SNAP could continue is the choice.
yeah.
Um,
Right.
and behind it, USDA had funding that uh was going to be relied upon, but they told them not to release theirs either. There's another food source. So the food sources were never intended to shut down if the government shut down. It is just a
Right,
choice.
right. The politicians are saying you
Right,
cannot, USDA do not access the emergency or the contingency resources.
right,
Right, it's intentional.
right,
So it's all intentional.
right,
Absolutely.
right, right. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
But
So
the
it's
but the
good.
crazy thing is that with the here in the state of Virginia, I think we have like there's a it's almost a $3 billion state surplus here in the state of Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
What they said that I was like, okay, well, the state of Virginia will tap their resources to alleviate the gap. And I think they said that with the first month, I think it was like almost 2 million or so dollars that they were gonna assist in their surplus, right? But the thing is that the state of Virginia is suing the federal government to say that it is unlawful for the federal government to withhold those benefits, and they're saying that you have to reimburse the state of Virginia for all the dollars that Virginia is reimbursing um, SNAP eligible families, right? So that's not going anywhere, So the whole and many other states are doing the same thing, right? They're saying, okay, well, but think about it, right? But a lot of states may not necessarily have a surplus, but they could potentially be going in debt to do it, right?
Right. And
So yes.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, and what I'm saying is like all of these court issues are sort of mounting into because we're sort of in this whole no man's land, and we don't understand why or how the federal government is restricting um the usage of funds, or even redirecting the usage of federal funds in terms of how they are being redistributed to the people. So it's a big mess in terms of the legality of any of this.
Right. In South Carolina, we have a surplus. However, the governor stated he will not release any funds, and any emergency funds are not earmarked for that purpose because it is not an emergency. And in order to purpose funds for food, he would have to call back the legislators to vote on an appropriation, which he will not do. And that if we wanted to feed, if people were going hungry, we need to help your neighbors. And the only thing they will offer is a donation opportunity on the state fund in which they will distribute those funds to the food pantries across the state, and then they would issue our food to smaller food pantries in the communities. And so they're not concerned because they're following the administration, which is fine. They've been able to they've raising money, they pushing it down through the pantries, but like Chris said, our pantries here, well, he said theirs are not dry. The number one food distributor in the Carolinas was
Mm.
Harvest Hope, and their food pantries were dry until they start taking those donations. And then others have started to donate and activate as we normally do.
Right.
However, how long could that last? As long as donors give, there will be food. And then you have food share, and then you have angel foods, and then there's food boxes where you could pay five. They've lowered the rate. It used to be like $15 to $20. Now they loaded to like $5 and $10. Um, but what I see is that it's the individuals that are in the underserved areas and there's no public transportation here. And the one they do have, it takes you 2 hours to get where you're going on the comment, and it only goes out so far. So we have areas here that are going to suffer because the access to it. So you have these locations set up where you have your churches, or you have a few food banks that are stationed throughout. But to get it to where the people are, it's similar to what happened in COVID,
Mm.
when the schools were shut down, and those kids relied on eating their breakfast and lunch at school, and then, oh, how can you get the food out to the kids? You had to activate transportation delivery companies to kind of bring them out, or they was using school buses to go through the neighborhoods to drop off meals. Kind of the same similar situation is what's probably gonna, if it gets to that point, gonna
Right.
happen here. But the schools issued out that the kid that they will still feed, and that's because they get their money up front to feed the kids in the school. So it's not a month to month, case by case basis like the people who get the SNAP every month. Um, but in the same sense, of course, you have the weekends where those same kids who are eligible for the free or reduced lunch, they're having the access to it. And then you have your seniors who normally rely on the whole Meals on Wheels deal or just some other type of food deal. But I'm watching the grocery stores, see how they're going to handle it, or when it becomes a real issue, or them even having access or having the money. Because if they can't sustain, then what happens? People start to lose jobs. They start to downsize because they aren't able to uphold their end. So I think it's a whole bunch that's going to come out of this. We talking
Yeah.
about the people who need it, but what about the producers of it?
Right. Right. And they're calling what we're doing here in Virginia. They call it the Virginia um, Emergency Nutrition Act. Right. The
Mm-hmm.
VENA. Right. So what they're saying is that anyone that was eligible for SNAP in the month of October would automatically roll over and be eligible to the for the VENA. Right. So there's no need to enroll or any of those things. But the only issue, the only difference is they're releasing funds on a week by week basis, right? So you should see the funds hit their accounts automatically, but again, right, it won't be on like sort of a monthly a basis perspective in terms of how they're used to doing it. And they also say that, okay, well, if anyone has any question in terms of what's going on, to reach out to the to the state of Virginia directly, right? They can provide them sort of information on those pieces, figuring out how they can provide additional assistance and all of that. So,
Right.
yeah.
And then when you're thinking about alternatives, and you say, okay, if SNAP is gone away and it's gonna no longer be available, um, because if you all have taken a look at the projected budget, there's a whole bunch of programs that are decreasing in that budget. So SNAP being the most acknowledgeable one right now, not having access to, then it is a lifestyle adjustment. It's a huge adjustment to our everyday standard as it relates to those individuals who need it. Um, and so what we've tried to do right before it happened, because we seen it coming, because in the summer they targeted food security. They targeted the farmers. And then all of a sudden, USDA started dropping a whole bunch of cooperative
Mm,
opportunities to work together, create these conglomerate of businesses to use farming as a business to market to a larger market, i.e., the port. They started pushing things out like certifying you to be an organic farmer. They was promoting a lot of agriculture marketing, getting foreign food to consumers. And then the conversation of, oh, by the way, SNAP. So all of this within the last 90 days was kind of a workup to it. And so we started having community needs assessments. Let's do some asset mapping. Let's identify where all of the food hubs are, and then where your gaps. What areas are, how what are the distance between where the gaps are for people to have access to farming or farmers markets, and then started opening up little farmers markets in different areas where the farmers were bringing their produce, mainly fruits and vegetables, to the area, so that people can have access to it for at a reduced rate. And then um said, okay, if this is a new norm, then now the other piece that I know some people are not looking at, I'm just kind of privy to have friends in these industries, is a lot of the underserved areas had started tapping into in-home health care where it provided work opportunity in those areas. But a lot of those providers recently just received letters to say that, hey, anyone who receives 30 hours or more, uh, depending on how the budget goes, those hours would be cut in half. So now you're talking about someone having employment that half their paycheck is going to be missing. In the same sense, these are the same individuals who probably like transportation. There is no public transportation. Like, it's so many variables
It's a
to,
huge cascading issue, right? In terms
yes,
of how it relates to food insecurity, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And then don't forget about the health, public health. So we've also been having conversations with the South Carolina Public Health Association, who are, having these little think tanks, um, meetings every month to figure out, okay, if healthcare is taken away,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
no food.
At the
Yes,
same time, right?
the
You get
same time.
you take away the nutrition
Yes,
factor, right? And then you
yes.
take away the healthcare piece at the same time. And these things, Mo, these are things that I think we take for granted that are in place
Hmm. Hmm.
today that have been in place for decades.
Hmm.
And that, it's sort of been a normative thing for us, right? But now it's like, okay, well, if you strip these pieces away, right, how do we deal with it, right?
Hmm.
And that's, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, okay, well, all of this stuff is completely preventable. We don't have to go back to the 50s or the era of the Great Depression in these particular situations, right? All of this stuff is just political to me,
Oh
right? We
yeah.
we don't have to do it. So
Oh yeah. You're definitely right about that. You're definitely right about that. But if they're gonna play in your face and they're gonna cause situations for your neighborhoods or your communities or
yeah,
arm's length individuals, then we all know, mindset shifts is one thing, but then you also have the fact that the whole technology conversation, and what jobs are going where, and deregulation with environmental factors, and oh my god, it's just so much. It's so much, sometimes we can't even keep up. We'll start on a path to helping a particular community, and then something else just pops up. So we went from farming to energy, back to farming, to, oh, by the way, these manufacturers are pouring stuff into the congaree, and oh God, you can't keep up. So sometimes I wonder, like when I listen to people on past, I'd be like, are they really in the community doing community work? Because we so tasked out. Sometimes we cannot keep up till we literally have to say, okay, you know what? This is the only thing we can focus on. And I know you have that going on, but we can't talk about that right now. We have to click.
have to
What's the
prioritize.
yeah?
Yeah,
What's the priority? What's the immediate need? What's hitting home right now? And so for us as seniors and the youth,
right.
feeding of the youth
Yeah,
and
because I know you
housing of the
mentioned that you
seniors
have a Meals on Wheels. You have a food program that you're doing with direct community
yeah.
needs
Hmm.
there, right? That's
And the
probably, I think
seniors.
that was one of the first things that you got really
I
involved with
did.
doing. Yeah,
You
yeah,
how
I
you
remember that.
remember that?
Yeah, yeah, that
I
was
was
one of your
feed
your biggest efforts. You were
yeah,
feeding people in the
150
community,
kids. Yeah.
right?
I was feeding
Early.
150
See?
kids a day.
Yeah,
And we had to go into apartment complex. We'd take an RV and go into apartment complexes and
yeah, I remember that.
the
Yep.
parks. We sure did. And I was trying to teach other people to do it. But since then, some other folks are doing it. I stepped away from it to help with with housing repairs for the seniors. Remember, we had the flood,
Yep.
the 1,000 year flood in Carolina. So we started helping with that, and then since then, I'm helping someone with some veteran housing.
Right. Right.
Uh, but still, because I'm involved with that particular community, um, we kind of scale back and we're doing technical assistance to try to strengthen the nonprofits in the area, which I'm
Mm,
afraid and I'm watching because they dropped an executive order September the 25th on nonprofits being involved with political affiliations, and we just had a training to be careful from that executive order, because what they're coming down to do, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be reviewing all nonprofits to see when if you've updated your bylaws in the last year, basically if you have
mm,
your administrative documentation in order. And those who don't, they're gonna revoke your charter, and those who do, of course, you'll be able to drive on. And so we start taking more of a technical role to strengthen the needs of the community, which is food, housing, uh healthcare and things of that nature, by like partnering, like bringing the outreach into the community. Like, I can't do it, right? I'm
mm,
not a medical person, but there's outreach in every organization, and now we're moving from governmental agencies to private sectors. So private businesses, foundations, things of that nature, to kind of wean them off of government to, let's be more of a corporate. Like, what's the corporate response? Social. I'm sorry, social responsibility from the corporations that's in your community. Who's here? Who's profiting the big dollars, and how can they help?
right.
And
Right.
and that's where we are with that.
Right, right. And one of the reasons why I remember in terms of your activism on the food insecurity piece is because that's
Mhm.
something that I was doing back in the days as well.
Mm.
Um the veterans organizations that I
Mhm.
was working with, they were doing it's sort of the whole food insecurity pieces with like senior citizens. We would
Mhm.
deliver foods
Mhm.
to them on a quarterly basis as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So
Yes.
yeah, it's an important thing, and
Mhm.
again, right, it's something that has to be ongoing, right? It's not
Yes.
something that you can just do periodically, right? This if you're going to be serious about it, you have to do it, and it has on an ongoing basis, right? So yeah.
Right. And then also remember, a lot of
Yep.
our seniors have gone to, a lot of these independent living homes
Yep.
was an
Hmm.
uprising these last few years.
Right.
And
Right.
so
And we had
when
to serve some of those
say it again,
homes, right? Those
not to
home plate, you would think that they would have all the resources they need, but a lot of times they don't.
they don't, because
Yeah,
a lot of those are low income. And so
yeah,
if they're scaling back on assistance or aid programs, those people are going to eventually get put out because they're not going
yeah,
to be able to afford it. That
yeah.
means that if your rent is being subsidized due to, age, income, whatever, and you're in an independent living assistant or assistant living, those, not those who um who need assistance, not like the old folks home type, the seniors,
Hmm.
the ones who can actually help themselves but
Right,
have
right.
the opportunity to get their rent subsidized.
Hmm.
And that's male and female alike. So you're talking about, okay, if you have an uncle, aunt, grandma, sister, brother, if you have the of age in those locations, be prepared to, hey, such and such, can I come live with you?
Yeah.
If those
Hmm.
aid programs go away.
Man, I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not only the babies end up suffering from not having, but it's the older family
Listen,
as well. So
I
but yeah, that's just me. I always say I'm not a humanitarian, right? Because by trade and by what I do, I'm not that. But I always say, hey, I try to, I have a heart.
mm-hmm.
It may not necessarily be a bleeding one, but I do have a heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And
absolutely.
we telling the vets now that, hey, You safe haven right now in 2025, but remember your budget is in 2026. And we already know the conversations
It's
they've
coming.
had for the
Right.
vets. If you getting Social Security and you getting VA, one of them gonna have to go. If you got a job and you getting Social Security, one of them gonna have to go. And be surprised. So, they've been we kind of preparing them to say
Right.
if you relying
Scale
if
back, invest
all of your expenses,
careful.
you
Right.
better start scaling back now. So a lot of vets have started to downsize.
I'm
Um, you
I'm downsizing myself.
home
Right.
baby.
And you know what? I say this, right? And
Hmm.
I don't think it's something that has impacted me directly. And I had this conversation with my wife, right? And you know what I said? I said, well, it seems like everyone is sort of preparing and tightening the belt. So I said,
Hmm.
okay, well, I'll tighten my belt before anybody makes me do it. You know, I
Hmm.
rather it's like, okay, well, you got subscriptions that you don't necessarily need. Tighten the belt there. You've got this. Well, maybe you shouldn't do as many nights out to eat. Tighten the belt there.
Hmm.
You know how much additional money I was actually able to save on a monthly
That's true.
basis, and I did this. It was a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
I was like, dude, it was surprising how much, in terms of, just the extra. But at the same time, it's not a lot. A lot of people don't have that extra. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, but
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Squeezing, and for those that don't, is that's where the hardest piece. I know one of my friends who owns in home healthcare.
mm,
Um, we put her on this budget plan because she has a lot of kids.
mm,
She has a good lucrative business, but she also has 5 kids, and she's in nursing school. And we had was like, okay, November 1st, that
yep,
snap is going out the window or whatnot. And so we're gonna have to show you how to maneuver. And she ain't like it, but she's starting to see more fruits of her labor because a lot of it was just on trivial things, a million subscriptions, a million little clothing credit cards, different things.
mm,
Get rid of that stuff. But for the people that don't have that, I,
yeah.
I
They've
and I got
already
a
cut to the
lot
bone.
around me. I
Right,
got a
right.
lot of family members, and I have a lot of it around me. And it's real funny because I say,
Yeah.
"Hey, we have a family meeting." I say, "Hey, hey, 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 hold on, push pause now. I can't go in lack for you now. I gotta do both. See, I'm a little, I get a little militant because I have to do both. I'm gonna help you, but you gonna work for it." Cause
Mm.
I'm not gonna do all the working and no, that's not gonna happen. I'm training, I'm working, I'm doing all that. Hey, if I'm
You
on
got
the
a lot on your
stream,
table, right?
yes,
Yeah,
I need you
so
to
it's
come.
not so you got a
Yes,
huge extended family beyond it's
yes,
your family, immediate family, extended family, and you got the
yes.
community on your back, Mo.
And
So I can understand that. Right, absolutely.
listen, I'm trained, and they're like, "Y'all know Mo not giving up nothing unless you gonna come and train." You absolutely right. We doing cybersecurity right now. The class is actually free. So if you can't give up a little time, then guess what? You gonna be over there in all them lines, and nobody's gonna feel sorry. So that's one of the lucrative things that we're offering in the community. We have a Nigerian guy, and we'll mix the classes mix with continental Africans, and then African Americans, Black, whatever you want to call yourself, right? So it's a mixed group, um, and we do it virtually, and it's opened up to say, hey, listen, you want to reclass, you want to learn a new skill set, you want to put some money in your pocket. Here's the route you need to take. Suffer the time now, because if it is for the long haul, guess what? You're gonna be set up. You're gonna
Mm.
be set, and even if you did just an entry level in the South, that's survival.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Online, yeah, that's survival.
Mm,
Remotely, yeah, you'll make it through.
mm.
Whatnot. So we have a little solutions to got some solutions to my little militant attitude,
Nice,
but at
nice.
the end of the day, and the only reason I'm learning it, Brandon, is because I know it's a hard thing to do to transition your work mindset from one industry to another.
Mm.
And so I got a little nit for say, okay, let me go do the tough thing and then I'll make it plain for you. But you're going to have to sit amongst me and then I can make it plain for you. So that you can at least get your foot in the door, spending just a little extra time. And so, believe it or not, we have more continental Africans
Mm.
in the class than we do
I can
those who
imagine.
amongst us, you know. And so that's where, as a as our people in our community or in your immediate circle, we definitely have to tighten up to say, all right, you guys, we already seeing the warnings. You're gonna have to do your part, you know. Now the fast foods are there, the department stores are there, waste management is there, construct. You have some immediate opportunities. We got a few manufacturers here. We got Scott Motors that they're building them now. They're looking to train people. Got a couple other manufacturers that are available. But guess what? You don't have transportation. So now we have to figure that out. And I think that's what a cooperative understanding is coming down to say, hey, if you know this is what your community need, okay, who has the van or the six passenger, or can you leverage one of these opportunities to get a van? I'm gonna give you an example. I don't know if you heard me tell
Mhm.
this story before.
Mhm.
When we were helping recidivism, those who recently released from incarceration,
Right.
we took a $10,000 grant. Um, Created a workbook, a workforce workbook. We taught the class for we offered it twice a year for 8 weeks, and we taught it for 2 years. And we created a staffing agency. And so we took the 10,000 to pay the workman's comp, and we offered the opportunity to manufacturers to hire the felons, right? To hire
Mhm.
them, and we pay their workman's comp. But for every person they hired, we took $1 an hour, right? So
Mhm.
that sustained the nonprofit, and we gave them transportation to work. So we
Oh,
were
nice.
able to pay for the vehicle. We were able to, they were getting paid from the employer. So it was like one or two slots at each manufacturer we went to. So we had about 8 people at a time. Once we did the 2 years, we went to Midlands Tech and said, hey, listen, we want to pay a staff member to teach our workforce workbook. And then in return, if you buy into this program, then we want you to accredit the program. And it worked. One of their staffers, we paid them like $1,400, and they taught it for 8 weeks, 1 hour a week, and they accredited. So we had the CPE hours, right? So now, what did this do? This offered the person the opportunity to get into Midlands Tech now without having the prerequisite, right? So that CPE gave them a door into college. It gave the manufacturing, the staffing agency funded the manufacturer, and then the $10,000 grant allowed us to pay the workman's comp. And so we was able to gain a profit, staff the agency. But what happened since then, the guy who actually started a nonprofit became a representative who's now actually running for governor of South Carolina.
Oh, nice.
So he dissolved it because you know what comes with that, politicians and
Oh yeah.
nonprofits, you have to report to ethics and all this other stuff, right? But I had gotten the idea from Kentucky, organization in Kentucky who did it with a trucking company for CDLs. So they would, instead of funding coming from another company, they actually staff the guys. Once they got their license as a CDL, they had the fleet, they ran the trucks, and the guys worked for them for like a year. And so pretty much they was paying them and then paying themselves back, right? So it was kind of cool. So I just tell anybody out there, there's a way to help your community by starting your own, staffing your own. Phlebotomists, traveling phlebotomists, CNAs, all of these different things, because there's a need out there, but the problem is that the businesses or the agencies, they don't train like they used to. So there's no 2 weeks orientation, go through training, learn your job, and do what you do. They want you to come in with some skills. And so the opportunity is to create that workforce development training. And if you can do a earn while you learn by finding them employment or partnering with the Goodwill or workforce development or a staffing agency until you learn how to do it yourself. And then that's where you can get into profitability or economic development. And then you could partner them with the NACA program who help with housing or with rural development and getting housing in uh purchasing homes on their own in rural areas because it's cheaper and the interest rate is lower. Like if we really want to do some economic development and putting a plan together, hey, I got some blueprints that helps out. Like, but I know a lot of people are in the inner city. And so they'll say, hey, well, we're not in the rural area, we're in the inner city. Well, same concept. It all works the same, you
Yeah,
know.
I tell you what, there's opportunities out there where you look for them, um, and I'll give you an example. I think the brother Chris, he talks about. I think he's a big stock guy, right?
Hmm.
And we talk about how stocks are sky high, but you know what's cheaper right
Hmm.
now? Land,
Hmm. Yep.
land is
Real
cheap.
estate, that real estate stocks.
Land is cheap. You get on. I don't know if he's. I got on the Georgia real estate or the Georgia land buy.com this morning.
Ooh.
People are selling like big tracts of
Mm.
land these days. It used to be very difficult to even find land, in
Yep.
terms of quality that people were willing to sell. But now it's like, okay, wait, people are selling tracts of land these days, right? Because there's always an
Ooh.
opportunity,
You
in a crisis, So
you ain't
yeah,
lying.
yeah.
I'm looking at it
So
now.
yeah, so if you remember back in the day, it was very difficult to find land. Yeah,
Mm.
land is being sell is being sold for surplus these days. I tell you.
Now that's where
So
you
so
put
if
your dollars
you
together.
got you yeah if you got yourself together, right? Maybe that's a place, that's an opportunity. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It's like we fine. We do that offline, Mo. Buy
Well,
buy the land.
we
Yeah,
got to do both. You have
yeah.
to do both. You have to acknowledge that hey, we have a bit of a
It's the
little crisis
opportunities.
going on, but on the flip side,
Yeah,
everybody in your circle ain't broke.
yeah.
Somebody got a couple bucks,
When you think
or
about it, it's like when things get tight, things get people start selling off family land and family
Mhm.
tracts and stuff like that. You can buy them. You can buy them up. It's like, man, I tell you,
and
people
that
always
leaves
say when you talk about your 40 acres and a mule, if you want your 40, you can buy 100 acres.
right and
These days, depending on where you're at, it may not necessarily be, land there in upstate New York or something. You may have to buy some in, like, say, South Carolina and Georgia, or in, um, Southern Virginia or something. But you can buy your tract of land.
mhm.
I saw some of it's like you can buy a whole plantation. You talking about
Yep.
it's like, oh, you talking about the ancestors. You can buy the plantation
And
these
make it
days.
out of a tourist site and make money off of it.
You can buy your
No,
own.
they gonna say we
Buy
just
100 acres. You know what I mean? Up for some places right at a million, or under a million, around a million.
mhm.
If you got it, you know
And
you
you
can
know what
do it.
they calling it
So
here, B?
yeah,
They calling it potential growth areas. And people are upset
yeah,
because they're saying we don't want, you guys are allowing people to come in and buy land or developers because it's not if you don't buy, developers will.
yeah, yeah.
They're eyeing it. And that's where gentrification comes into play. If when these opportunities like this is on the market, oh, you better believe they putting their coins
Now
together.
is the time. If anybody is interested in
Mhm.
buying land, that's what me and my wife is doing. We've been buying
Mhm.
this land. Yep.
That's
Yep.
how my friend, when I said we into the veteran housing, she bought 31 acres out in Eastover, uh the land to build, and then she purchased some more. She came from New York actually,
Mhm.
and she purchased some more on that Garner's Ferry track somewhere up that way. And we're going to start 5 acres at a time,
Yeah,
um,
you do
and build
timber.
them.
Right? If you want to, plant timber and stuff like that, yeah, it's right. Yeah, I got to get your email. Yeah,
Mhm.
places where you can, grow timber and stuff like that. Those are really, really good tracks, right? You think about it, right? You just like people like us, getting older, and you're getting ready to retire, that kind of stuff, right? So yeah.
Easy
When you think about
funding.
these babies, like say, yeah, you get these babies, they need funds and stuff like that, man. You buy what it's like 100. You buy 100 acres and plant some trees on it, right? That'll pay for their
Yep,
college,
there you
right?
go.
There you go. It'll pay for itself,
It's,
I
and
tell you.
and if you don't have it right now, put it on
And,
your
and
vision
the AI
board.
and AI can't replace land.
Hey,
I
and,
tell you.
and I can't replace land. And AI, someone said something the other day. It said AI not taking your job, is the person who learned how to do work. AI is taking your job.
I tell you. Yeah,
Uh,
that's it.
don't worry about it. It's
A
always
lot
gonna
of
be
times you got to
some.
get back to the simple things, man. I tell you,
Yeah,
get back to
yeah.
them simple things.
I was gonna
Yep.
say earlier when Madonna was talking, I was gonna say, shoot, Louisiana, where you think my cousin them is a bit word, least word about Snap, because they gonna be right there on that fishing pond,
There you go.
fishing, fishing. They already know how to get. I remember Hurricane Ike, and the lights were out for a week, and man. I called check on my cousin them.
Hmm.
They was like, "Girl, please, we outside with the
You know,
black
you got
pots
the
and the
you got the
grill."
deep you got the deep yeah you got the
we
deep freezers filled up, and you got the water. But again, right? We country folk, so
very
we do that.
country.
It's I'll be fine. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. They
It's
do it
not
every
me.
weekend.
It's not exactly. It's not me that I'm worried about. It's like,
Yeah,
again, right? This is
right.
what we're
It's
talking about.
everybody else.
People.
Yeah,
It's a
who
hard
can't?
time for these kids. Yeah, exactly, right? Because you know
Disabled.
what? It's time that we didn't have that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
the
for sure.
disabled folks. The
Yes,
intellectual
old
disability,
older folks.
old people. Yeah,
Yeah,
can't do for themselves.
right. Yeah.
Those that two. What is it like 267 flex card they get that helps with food or utilities or fuel. That's
Mm,
beneficial to them.
right. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
it's a lot of little things that we have. There's some opportunities. We
Right.
just gotta
Right.
help out.
Right. Because you know what? They took care of us when we didn't have. So it's up
Yeah.
for us to do the same, right?
Oh, definitely,
That's absolutely.
definitely. We are meat and rice and beans or meat and rice, peanut butter and jelly type of crew or whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, I remember I remember when I was in college. Oh, I was at Fort Scott Community College in Kansas at the time, and we had to. I played basketball, so during the holidays, we couldn't go home due to tournaments and things of that nature. And two of my friends, they had babies, and they was like, "We running out of food. The school is closed." I'm like, "Girl, we could cook cornbread and milk. What are you talking about? Get that carnation milk and put that water in there." The
Uh-oh.
babies is not gonna know the difference. You the only ones, and it was like my kids aren't gonna eat that. I said, "Watch this, shoot, throw a little sugar up in there." Man, them babies was like, when we gonna eat cornbread and milk again? I said, girl, we from the South. What? I don't know what y'all doing up here. You better go on and get it. It's easy to make a meal.
Man, I
Yeah.
tell you what, we can do it, but it's the thing, right? It's like, okay, well, I don't wish a hunger day on anybody,
You
so
know,
that's my thing. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah,
we
for
gonna
sure.
break out the MREs from out the military.
There you go.
You gonna try them MREs.
Mm.
Vyasa, you was gonna say something.
Oh, peace, y'all. From the last time we
Mhm,
spoke until now about the food crisis, Auntie Mo,
mhm.
this ain't gonna help all, but it may help some. The Choctaws, I want to say yesterday, released that they'll be doing an emergency food program for Choctaw people.
Mm.
And what they're gonna do is November 3rd through the 14th, you fill out the application, get approved, and they'll send you $150 food card to use nationwide. So that's a
Oh,
huge that's a huge deal for them because most of the time benefits like that you have to be in their jurisdiction.
Mm.
So I thought I'd share
oh,
that with you just in case somebody out there happens to be able to qualify. I put you that link in the back chat.
okay. And you said nationwide, so they'll ship it out.
Mm. That's that's good.
You can use. Oh, they're gonna ship the card out. That's right. You said that
Yeah,
if you
they'll
need
mail
it
you the
anyway.
card. And they pretty fast when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh wow. And I noticed that Native Americans, they the only ones that have they're like one of the only ones that have grants posted on grants.gov. Everybody else is archived or maybe one or two things out there, but Native American opportunities are still there. And I know a chief here in the Carolinas. I think I need to text her, hit her up, and let her know, as well as some of the other, look into it for some of the community folks. Thank you. That's a plus. That's what I'm talking about. Help your
Like I
neighbors out.
said, it may not help all, but if it can help some, that's some. Like
Mm.
I
Yeah,
think
for
when we
sure.
were speaking, it was GQ, and I think he said he got family members that married into Choctaws,
Hmm.
and
Mm,
based on how the politics work, they may have not been able to qualify for stuff like this in the past. Based off, you have to be
mm,
in their jurisdiction. So if it can help somebody, it can help somebody.
Mm.
Is my point.
Yeah, and it's a lot of stuff, and it's a good call out, Vasa, because there's a lot of stuff going on a state by state basis as well. So if you're maybe potentially impacted by what's going on the federal level, right? Just reach out to, the state office there, right? In terms of where you're getting your funds and stuff. Maybe they have something going on where they have like temporary sort of assistance on a week by week basis or a bi-weekly basis to kind of get us through this. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So reach
Oh,
out. Yeah, reach
one more
out.
thing.
Yeah.
In this program, they're extending it to help with Thanksgiving meals as well.
Mm.
So that's an
mm,
added
mm.
plus. If you know, once again, this ain't gonna help everybody, but if you qualify, that's a resource to use.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Is the resource to some folks. And if not to you, post it to your social medias and let somebody else, who may not ordinarily let you know that they're in need, but they'll take the information from your site and tap in. That's what I've been doing. I just been, it don't matter what state it is in, I just been sharing it on my social media. People inbox and I'll just share, 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 because you never
Mm.
know who's watching,
Right. Right.
and it ain't for me to go and find out, someone for
Hmm.
whatever reason. Sometimes it's safeguarding information. People mishandle people's information, use it for entertainment, and no one wants to, be talked about because their cabinets are bare, you know, because
Mm.
you'd be surprised whose cabinet is bare.
There you go. I'm
So
telling you.
just share it. Share. We just here to share. Share, pass on the next opportunity, and hopefully somebody can use it for their benefit. And what happened? We ran everybody off.
I think we did. I have.
Ain't that something? A Buddha? Is that Buddha? Buddha still here in Psycho. He in the boot in my home state.
Buddha say, if you need something, come to me. I'm gonna cook some veggies. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'll feed you. If I can't do nothing else, I'll feed you. Right?
Hey,
That's
Buddha
what we
said I
talking.
could make that meal stretch. That's what I'm talking about. My type of dude. Let's
I'm trying
go.
to
I
tell
save all
you.
kind of. Hey, that's my boy.
Man, I tell you.
My boyfriend. He was like, "Huh, I don't know about you, but I went grocery shopping and I'll be cooking every day, and this is what I cook." Da, 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 da. I say, spoken like a true Louisianian. I wouldn't expect nothing less. Go on, let me get a plate. Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting though, because sometimes you're surrounded by a panel of people from all parts of the U.S., the North, the South, the East, and the West, to hear what's going on. I guess
I'll tell you this. It's going to get interesting in the next 2 or 3 weeks, right?
yeah.
Because you know what's going to end up happening because as you know, right, we've got the season of government contract renewals that are going to start
Mm-hmm.
coming up, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
this we're talking about fiscal year and quarters are rolling over with companies and stuff like that. So
Mm.
we'll see who starts belly aching and whining and complaining if this goes on any further, right? So
Hey, I
yeah,
forgot about that part.
so yeah,
And and many people work for companies, they don't realize it that government contracts are involved.
right. So is it, again what this is around 30 days here.
Yeah.
Let me take my calendar. Let's look.
Yep. It's yeah, because you can't get paid if the government shut down, who's gonna pay you?
There you go.
Now, I will tell you,
You're kind of floating. Everybody's kind of floating right now on this last 30 or so days. But as you go on, right, because you've got a lot of contracts that are awarded based on the period of performances, right? Those could hit any time. So
that's true.
in terms of those period of performance beginning to expire, right? You can't
Mhm.
award additional funds for those,
Yes,
right?
and
So this is the first month where period of performance funds haven't could be in jeopardy in terms of awarding. So now we're getting ready to see exactly what the impact is going to be, right, in terms of big massive corporations that are leaning on this stuff. So we'll see.
I forgot about that part. You gave a good reminder. Now, I tell you, um, the company that I'm affiliated with that has the contracts, we are all the contracts are veteran, and so of course, like I said, we safe haven for this for a year because the budget goes next year. But I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
How are things invoiced though? That's the question. It's like, okay, well, how are your funds invoiced? You might have a year, but it's like, okay, well, when is that period of performance going to be awarded in terms of that invoicing and the funding? If you don't, if it's fault, if that pop is happening now, that funding may not necessarily be there. You
Yeah,
know,
the VA, all of ours is with the VA, and the VA is kind of not in that conversation right now. But that's what I'm saying. We only it won't we're safe haven right now because the VA budget, those funds aren't impacted. The hospitals are still open. The only portion of the VA that's not functional is the regional office, where the programmatic pieces are. But the hospital piece, that piece is safe haven for right now.
but you know what I'm hearing as well,
Hmm.
Mo.
Hmm.
What I'm hearing is a lot of allocated funds,
Hmm.
right? A lot of allocated funds are being redirected towards um what 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 they're calling away from non-critical to
Right.
critical, right?
Right.
So even if you've got full funding, right,
Hmm.
it's not a guarantee, right? Because again, right, the entire conversation is about find the money to fund this and find the money to fund that, right? So the whole finding of the money is the whole idea is like, okay, well, right, we've got this particular bucket of money. It's not necessarily considered
Essential.
critical,
Oh,
or essential. Let's redirect
hmm.
it over there. Yeah, we'll figure out, you know, in terms of the legality pieces and all that stuff after the fact, right?
Right.
But that's happening. That's happening now. So I
Right.
I don't consider any of it. safe right now, for me.
That's true. That you hey listen, you that is definitely true. I know we got hit when they first started doing the firing. All of the specialty what they would call specialty care. Um Doctors were let go, employees were let go, um the clinics, and then like I think maybe September they started hiring back a few, but that wasn't put back in place. And then when this whole shutdown happened, a lot of the programmatic pieces, the just the uh, I said this what I say. As soon as they shut down, the VA hospital is
Mm.
Washington is gonna go veterans.
Yeah.
I said these veterans gonna act a fool. But right now, I mean it's close, but in the same sense though, provided we've been in the game for a while. We're pretty good stewards. Now who we were
Right.
watching out for is our employees.
Right.
Um because as I was explaining to someone before, our employees don't get paid like a regular transport employee on the private side.
Right.
They get double that and some.
Right.
Some of
Right.
our employees base rate, the minimum wage rate for a government contract is 17.75 plus the $5.09 for the health and welfare, which is what they're supposed to use on insurance. And so some of them are getting 21, anywhere from 21 to maybe 25 plus the five, not. So they making really good money, 60, 55, 60,000 in the South, in those areas. And so we always, tell them that, be good stewards of your money, because just as good as this contract is here, it can definitely be taken away. Um, Nothing's permanent, like you said.
Yeah.
Everything's up for grabs. And I know in the new bill, DOD, ICE, FBI, any law enforcement, and Homeland Security, as well as charter schools, a few of the things that I can remember have a funding line item.
Mhm.
Um, and that's the scare, is because there's a lot of decreasing if it goes as is. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
and one of the craziest things about it though is it's sort of like the indirect things that you don't necessarily think about, Mo. Give you an example. Even if you do have funding, or if you've got something that's sort of like in flight, and that's floating, right? With the furloughs, you got a lot of contracting officers that have been furloughed, right? You got all so who's making the funding decisions or pushing paperwork? If you got nobody pushing paperwork, in the intermediate term, it's like you can still get hit. You know, it's like and that's the issue, right? It's very
yeah,
hard to predict, and I think that's what business is gonna have a really hard time. It's like, okay, well, if we can't necessarily predict um what's going on with the government, yeah, it's,
yeah.
and
You're right.
that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm saying, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting for something for
Who
legal
who
on
who,
Fort
care, who cares
Jackson
if I have funding if I don't have a contracting officer to release the
to
funds,
hit the
right?
button.
you know, you know what I'm saying?
You're right. Because
That
I was
part.
waiting for something for legal on Fort Jackson, and she said, "Oh, Mo, I forgot to tell you that legal, a lot of those are lawyers. Some of those individuals are, through the furlough, and a lot of their staff are civilians, and so the lawyer is not gonna, the JAG office is
They're
not
not
gonna
gonna
do the
do it.
work."
Yeah,
So
so it's sitting. So the longer it sits,
yeah,
what happens, right? It's the bigger opportunity for that funding to get scooped and moved.
yep,
So
it's
so
gone.
yeah, exactly. Not They're not going to leave it. So we got to fix this, immediately. So that's my bigger point, right? It's the more instability or the more uncertainty, the worse it gets throughout the entire nation. So we got to fix it.
You're right. Yeah, I slept on that. I slept on
Everybody's
that
gonna
thought.
get impacted. Yeah,
Yeah, I slept on that thought. That's a food for thought right there.
yeah,
You know, yeah, you might have a contract, but you might still may not get paid. It's gonna be in the queue.
yeah. Exactly. There you go. It's sitting, and then you got this other brother say, "Hey, we need money for yeah." So it's sitting there. Nobody's doing anything. You whoop over
I know
whooped it.
how
What they say? They over whooped it.
Oval. Oh, I
Somebody
know
over
how
whooped
about
your
the
fund.
Carolinas.
Yeah, yeah.
Carolinas have, well, they decided that they were going to do a new system. I'm not sure if it's SAP driven because skis was SAP driven. I'm not sure if they're going to Oracle or maybe it's just an upgrade to SAP, but they changing systems right now, and so you can't make any changes to procurement because it was supposed to fold out in July and they still
Mm.
haven't folded out. And so payment wise, they're holding up some payments. Now, it could be a smoke screen. I don't know. But I'm like, what's taking them so long? What you mean you're supposed to fold out in July? Because I used to be an auditor for the state of South Carolina. So I remember when we changed over from stars to skis, which was the SAP backdrop. We ran the legacy system until the new system was operable or ready to fold out. And so when they said that last week, I said, "Oh, they playing real games now." Oh, so we got the shutdown and y'all got a new system that you say you can't pay people.
Mm.
That's not good.
Yeah.
We might be fishing for real.
Right, exactly, right. So there's a reason why they stock them ponds up in the country, right? For
Hey,
hard times, right?
hey, where's Poncho? So we can talk about this crypto.
Oh man.
You know, oh
Oh,
man,
that's it.
what's your alternate funding source?
We'll, it's like we say, we'll be all right. But that's either easy to say. It's easy to say, right? But we'll see. But we'll see.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
gonna be all right.
yeah,
It's the only people that's not gonna survive is those who are, not humble enough to adapt to change, which we know happens. Like if you think about what happened in COVID, not being able to come out, come outside for a certain period of time or go anywhere unless you're essential, and how a lot of people went into certain states. It's gonna be similar in nature. Y'all hear the teenagers out there? That's what they do on weekends. Them
mm.
loud ass motors. um, but those
Good point. Right.
yeah, those people who
Couldn't sit down somewhere, right?
yeah, sit down somewhere, you can, or they may think that, they maybe they have never been exposed to uh living on the land or cooking a certain way or stretching food or meal prepping, things of that nature. And maybe that may become a little overwhelming to them, and or they don't really understand the survival mode deal. But those are the ones you got to watch out for. But, you know, I'm 48, so I'm very acclimated in to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whatnot. And if times get too hard, I'll pack my little bags and roll back to Louisiana where it's cheaper.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm moving into my mama
Yeah.
house. Move over where it's paid
Right.
for.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
always
I
the
got
way
my
I
house
would
in I
say.
got my house in Georgia. It's like
Hey,
it's,
I will sell and I will go to the boot into the small town and live happily ever after. But
yeah. Then again, right? You say, hey,
mm,
again, just like I said, it's like, hey, you got some tracks, down south that are cheap these days. So yeah,
I know, right? You say
always do it.
Georgia.
You can always do it. You can do it.
Georgia's always ready, huh?
On my mind.
Georgia.
Got to tell you.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about y'all,
what's up?
Oklahoma, Virasa? Y'all have some cheap land going on down there? I haven't looked over here. I need to look.
Real estate is all over the place down here.
Hmm.
It's all, and I don't mean that in the positive. I mean it as it's out of order.
Oh,
So especially in the small town I'm in,
Yo, peace, peace,
rent
y'all.
is rent is sky high. I don't know
Well,
how a lot of these families are getting through.
Mm.
And the game they run is always a college town, so it, y'all know how that goes.
oh, gotcha.
So rent is sky high. Average, just everyday person is lucky if they make it to $10 an hour. If you hit $10 an hour, they're gonna put you at part time because they don't want to pay insurance on their employees here.
Hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been
it's
going on
tough.
for a while.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I get angry when that sentiment is expressed. Oh, they just need to get a job and stop being lazy and all that. Because these are working families, two parent working families that still need food stamps to feed their kids.
Mm. Yeah. They started that part-time trap. This was way back in the 90s where they used to they did the whole thing was like cut the hours and then you're not necessarily considered a full-time worker, so they don't have to give you full benefits. So yeah, yeah. That's the trick that's been going on for a minute.
But on the back end of it, they don't have to pay in-house fees.
Mm,
You get where I'm going? Like they don't have to pay an insurance policy on their employees while they working if they part
Right.
time.
right. Yeah.
Not that you
Or
don't,
Oh,
not
really?
the
So
you
so
not
not only
qualified.
that.
Yeah, it's a double edged
Oh,
sword for those people.
oh.
wow. I thought there was just if you had 50 employees or less, but you're saying that if you make them part time, you don't have to provide that either. And which goes to the point that if you're not on that marketplace insurance or affordable care, uh insurance is super expensive. Oh, that's a whole nother bar game.
Right. And that's what they were talking about in terms of like, okay, well, you know, that spike in insurance costs a lot of, when you talk about a family, maybe two or three, it's gonna go up by maybe $10,000 a year,
Ah,
right? If with those subsidies not being in place, you think
that's
about it.
another
If you
job.
yeah, yeah, that's you're talking about, you know, what are you talking about? Like, okay, if you got like a wife, a husband, and then you've got two or three kids, that's even more, you know. So
Mm.
it's yeah, that's why everybody's acting the fool on this. So yeah,
And some of these people are college degrees getting these low wages. But if that's
Oh
all that's
yeah.
available to work, then that's all that's available to work.
yeah,
Yeah. That's the dilemma when they say, "Won't you come back home?" Be like, Where you gonna go? What you gonna do? Not gonna be able to afford it to live."
Yeah, that's kind of why I stay quiet on the let's build a black city or go buy one of these. What was Garfield on? Let's buy a ghost
Oh yeah,
town.
by Black City, Reggie Black City playing by a
Because
town in the
of
government
the
country.
54 of the 54 all black cities that was here, I think maybe 15 remain.
mm,
And it's good an idea to speak on it, but in practicality, there's no jobs
It's the
available.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I was to push that y'all come to Oklahoma and rebuild these, how you gonna rebuild something when there's nothing there?
It's a
And
lot. You got to,
most aren't willing to do what the originals did, like live in dugout homes. You get where I'm going and build it over
Mhm,
time.
that's true. So we have Eastover is has its own municipality. It's rural, it's small, less than 500 people. I think 5 to 600 people. And the conversation on the ground is, the mayor's like, well, I want to build like they build in downtown Columbia. And but the people are like, nope, we like it rural. We didn't move here for you to be building and creating no business center, whatever. We don't want that. We want what we got, which is agriculture and the limited what we have. And so the dilemma is that, of course, you don't have any jobs other than the dollar store. And I know you guys have heard that conversation centered around the dollar store in
Yeah, they capitalize
underserved
our
communities.
poverty. Yeah.
Yes. So you got the Dollar General and one corner store and a library, and I think they put a urgent care recently. One, and
Auntie Mo,
so
no BS, not to cut you. It's more Dollar General here than gas station franchises.
wow.
Yeah, that's how it is. In South Georgia as well.
And
Right.
those
Mm,
ones that
Hmm.
scream, let's keep it rural, a lot of the times, this is why I hate this city. Them people got old money.
Yeah.
So
yes.
they use this as a way to stay
Heirs
away from the
property.
big city, but they got money to live comfortably
They
and
got money.
move around whenever they desire. But the people here are trapped.
Right.
And
Right. And just sit
heirs
on the
property.
sit on the land. Right.
Sit on
Exactly.
the land. Yeah,
Sit
yeah, yeah.
on. Yeah. Mhm.
And the youth is like, well, we can't do that because we have to work. We have to get money. That's
That's
true.
that's it.
I forgot about that. Heirs, property, retirees, you know, maybe a few trust fund here and there. So there's a lot of variables.
And that's the thing these days. A lot of that old heirs property these days. A lot of that's not working anymore because a lot of it's for sale. You know,
Yep.
which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. I don't know one way or the other. You know,
Sale or haven't been upkeep.
yeah.
And they fueling and probate.
Inflation's going up, and the
Hmm.
old timing people, they passing away. You know,
Hmm.
so the old ways aren't like they used to be. Where people thought that your wealth or was tied to the land. A lot of people don't
Hmm.
think that way anymore. So you know, one of the craziest things when you talk about like for instance, you talk about these sundown towns and counties and communities. It's
Hmm.
like some of these places are the biggest places that are selling land these days
Yeah.
This
for the
city I'm
cheapest.
in literally
But
used to be a
for the
sundown
cheapest,
town, Brandon.
yeah, for the cheapest though. You just like you can go and buy 100 acres in a sundown community. It's like and own it.
They like, I'm out of here.
Oh
I'm
man,
moving
it's
to the
the
mountains. I'm out.
craziest thing, right? I don't know if you're gonna be able to live on it, but if it's yours,
It's, it's definitely yours. If you could develop it, you know. They moving out of the country into the cities. Infrastructure. I know when the infrastructure bill was out, I know Carolina took advantage of that, and they took that money. And when I tell you, they rebuilt downtown Columbia and the surrounding areas, and redid every apartment complex or old house there was in or surrounding the University of South Carolina. They did it from to you go, you pass down there, it's unrecognizable if you hadn't been there in a while. I mean,
yeah,
they was
man,
like, give me that government money. I'm gonna do something with it. And like we said, they priced out those who, you know, don't either were living there and can't afford to live there, so they push them back to the rural areas, with the lack of resources. And so I know sometimes people, I don't know. I can't really talk for many people, but I know when you look out, you observe. Um, like I said, there used to be a lot of project areas in the inner city, and then now, shoot, they rebuilt all that gone. Benedict and Allen, what's around Benedict and Allen? They're slowly coming up to that area now, which surprisingly I thought that maybe some of the schools would have. capitalized on some of it and rebuilt and beautified their area as well. I said they're gonna eventually end up buying them out or pushing them out.
Mhm.
USC is eventually two universities, HBCUs right next to each other, right across the street. You know, I don't know. And then I don't know, maybe they did try to do some acquisitions and, didn't have, they didn't allow them in the gate. That could be true too.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, but this might be, in terms of like the time, especially like people, who are trying to, do a little something in terms of buying some real estate. If even if you don't necessarily want to buy a house right now, right?
Mhm.
You find a place where you want to just buy the land because the land is
Mhm.
cheap now. Just buy the land, sit
Mhm.
on it, and then
Sit
just
on it.
wait until the other prices go down a little bit in terms of
Mhm.
the building of a new construction or something like. It's always
Mhm.
opportunities. I tell you,
Mhm.
it always is.
It
So
does.
yeah,
Yeah. Put your two steps together. Bring the
yeah.
two steps to the table who
There you go.
don't have the coins, but they have the mindset or they have the know-hows. Because you got some pretty intelligent people that may just haven't been exposed to it, but it definitely can be an asset to you, whether they become your administrator or, your customer service person or whatever. Just be at the table. I need your thoughts too. Um,
Right, right.
maybe we can make you a remote customer service person. We be thinking about all kind of things that we can do to work together. You know, I have family members all the way in Louisiana. I'm in South Carolina. I'd be like, hey, be on standby because if I get this up and running, I'm gonna need you to be my virtual assistant. you know, that
Yeah,
kind of thing. Like, put
yeah,
it together.
yeah. Hopefully, hopefully we'll say, well, let's get these families through this little rough patch here, and we'll be all right. So get through the holidays, that kind of thing.
Yeah, may not travel. You may not travel, but maybe you just have a block party or something.
There you go.
You know, that's what we gonna do. Pull out. Matter of fact, we're supposed to pull out the grill today. Um, then my nephew they had competitions or whatever. We're gonna go out and help feed some folk, and whatnot. But we'll see. I think people are getting food. I know here the pantries they're distributing. Um, the is where they're gonna be getting the foods from. I think it's going to become the concern. Like where these donations coming from? You know,
Right.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, because the food was being delivered in. So who are they getting their food from? And is everybody pulling from the same source? Because
Mm,
now your demand has probably tripled. And if everyone in the state is pulling from, if the food pantries are pulling from the same source, or let's say neighboring states, tri-states, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, pulling from the same source to fill their pantries, how is that working? I think I'll look into that. Like, where's your food coming from? We're saying, help restock, but where's your stock coming from? You
mm.
know,
Right.
that's what I need to figure out. Are they going to be lacking in some instance? Can they keep up with that demand? You know, the manufacturers, I suspect. I'm not sure. I don't really know where the food pantries get their food from because I don't think it comes from a regular grocery store.
Right, and it's not entirely donation based either. So you got to figure it out. Yeah, exactly. Or so is it state or county um, funded? So yeah, that's a good question.
Auntie Mo, you know, I always got to throw a little history in. I put you
Oh,
a
there
link
you
in the
go.
back
There you go. I knew you was gonna have it. Let me
where you
see.
said break the grill out. rent parties were something we utilized in these very similar times in the past. We all come
Mm.
together, throw a little party at so and so's house, pass the hat around, and those funds help fund that house.
Mm.
You get what I'm trying to
Hmm.
say?
Rent
Right.
So rent
party.
parties.
Rent party.
That's what's up.
That's cool.
We can do that.
Oh yeah. We know how to break out the speakers now.
It sounds like I've been at a couple rent parties and didn't even know it was a rent party though. Come to think of it, back in the days, right? Yeah,
I know they play card. We play cards in Louisiana and cut, and the
it
cut
is.
pot becomes the we donate it to whatever. That happens a lot when people die and they don't have no insurance and
Yeah,
whatnot. So yeah, yeah, that's what's up.
we haven't gotten too good for some of them old ways.
At all. Oh, we got a new one. FBA, hey, Foundation of Brooklyn American.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey,
So Mar,
that's Marty.
Hey,
yeah,
what's
yeah, it's
going on?
Marley.
How you doing? How you doing? You can
Hey,
Marley
hear me?
said
Marty.
he will be offering free
Yeah,
You
counseling
can
service to those who
you
need
can
it
hear
during
me?
the
we
crisis.
can hear you, Marley.
Yeah, we hear you,
Oh,
Marley.
oh,
You want to give us a mental health session?
oh no, I just came to listen for a little bit. I was just came to, show some support before I go to sleep. You know.
Yeah, don't you got a debate tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't think so.
Is that
Nah,
tomorrow?
I didn't get the memo.
Oh,
Nah,
when is it?
Oh no.
Oh no, not you. But isn't that debate? That's not a debate tomorrow, Brandon.
I
I
think
think
it
it got
was
pushed to
one.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it got pushed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What that?
I was ready to get my judge on. Yes, tomorrow night. Yeah,
I'm glad it's your
read
turn.
read read through some sources. Early and yeah,
Oh,
but
oh
it's fun.
yes,
It's
it
fun,
is.
and one of the biggest things for me is like
Mhm.
the debaters take it very seriously, and
Oh yeah.
they're so into it, which makes me get into it as well. So
Oh yeah.
which
You
is good.
know, I appreciate the intelligence, like, especially the stereotype that, sometimes they give black men. So I appreciate the intelligence and the ability to be able to analyze each other as well as stand on a premise. Is like, wow, people don't have no idea, how intelligent black men are. I just be like, look at them, check them out. Yeah, it's super cool. I be passing the link around, and it's so different from the past, some type of past discussions, and I appreciate the current affairs type of debates. What affects you right now, and how that can play relevant, and what can you learn from some of the info, especially when they can bring the historical content and into current, like bring it all the way up from history to modern. Yeah, I appreciate those pieces, and they build on it, and then it's so cool to see how you could take a topic and two people can have two opposing views and have a strong argument for and against. Right, so you should be a judge.
I said that earlier.
See.
I
The
think that I
issue I
should be
would
I should I think that I should be a judge.
the issue
Yeah.
I would run into Auntie
Yeah.
Mo is typically they
I
at
think I'll
night
be a I
and I'll
think that
be
I'll
at
be a
work.
good judge.
Yeah, Marley, I think so. You could be a judge.
Yeah, I could. I think I should be a judge instead of a competitor.
Mm-hmm. You still have time, probably. Psycho can set that up. You hear that, Psycho? Stop watching that. Oh, ain't no football on.
I was watching a basketball game. I was watching the what you call it, the
Mm.
um Golden State versus the Pacers. The Pacers won by 5 without
Uh-oh.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Uh-oh.
And
That's
the Rockets was playing the Boston. They was blowing them out by like 20. The last time I seen the game, it was in the fourth quarter.
mm. Time to watch basketball already, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah,
I usually
I'm getting ready to blow out this pillow on my bed, and but I'll holler at you guys tomorrow or later on. It's
all
good
right, baby.
conversation. I really appreciate it. Again, look out for your family. Make sure you keep your family close to you in these times. All right,
Hey,
This
Brendan, do you still go over to the
Mhm.
pseudo killers? I
Every
know they
now
was
and then, I always talk with brother Unc. I'm in constant conversation with him. So
okay.
a
oh yeah.
little bit more on the background because it was just so super busy these days and everything
I
that I'm
get it.
doing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
With them, in terms of being engaged with the pseudo killers, one of the things about it is it's a lot of engagements, a ton of work. It's a lot of research in the background that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Right.
why I really do respect those guys. You know, if I'm going to be full time with them, I got to devote a lot of time with it. So
I've
yeah.
respected your mind and character ever since um, meeting you over there. So
Oh
when I
yeah.
seen you over here, I was happy to see you.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. It's like with us, it's like we got subscriptions to journals and stuff like we're constantly researching, especially when we were having like in-depth conversations about
Yep.
Egypt and archaeology and all these different things. So yeah, shout out to them, so for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. All
Oh
right,
yeah.
B. You have a good night.
All right, peace to y'all. All right, later.
Peace. All right, Marlon Mar, Vyasa. Where's Buddha?
Oh gosh.
Marley. So you
Yeah.
joined the judging panel, right?
Huh?
You gonna join the judges, right?
Yeah, I think I'll be a better judge. I ain't gonna lie, cause I'm not biased.
Mm-mm, me either.
Yeah, that's why I think that I'll be a good judge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's cool to listen though,
Hmm.
and because you really have to, if you're not judging, you really have to pay attention. You can't just be, you can't put your what you want them to say or how you would approach it. You just have to approach it what they're given.
Yeah,
That's
I think I'll be a better analysis too.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably be better
Yeah,
than me. I heard that.
yeah. Huh? You said you heard that?
I said you probably be better than me. I heard that.
I didn't say better than you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nah, nah. I
Mm,
think that.
yeah. It's welcoming, and you know what? I think it keeps to have a different groups of people. It keeps them on their toes, because you don't know you can't finesse, your judger, or you may can finesse the chat sometimes, but you can't finesse sometimes. You gotta come ready. They set the standard. Those guys come prepared. The only time I think you're not prepared is if maybe got caught at the last minute or something, not doing something, and you kind of throws you off, or your technicals throw you off, or maybe the other person throws you off. But I don't know. Anyways, y'all feeling the effects of the snap over there in Brooklyn?
The what?
Snap.
Oh well, yeah, there's people that's going through some things, that come down to my job and stuff like that, and I be feeling kind of bad for them and stuff like that. Not just with the snap, but with the other government shutdown things as well, because not only is it affecting the federal government, but it's also affecting other agencies that the federal government actually funds. You know,
Yep.
that pays their workers and stuff like that. So it's kind of like bad. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what
Yeah,
you mean. So
yeah.
not just the private sector, it also affects the working industry as well. And we're gonna be surprised to know who all and where the effects are. It's not gonna be just on those low income households. You know,
Hmm.
I think it's gonna have a universal effect. You'd be
Marley,
surprised. Oh, go
that
ahead.
might be a good debate topic for you to lure somebody in. Is
What are you talking about?
taking them into your field. Do black people need counseling?
Black people need counseling.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs counseling, but yeah,
Right. But that would be a good one to bring somebody in, debate it, and also demonstrate your strengths.
mm,
You get what I'm trying to say? If you can finesse
yeah,
them into taking the debate, that'd be a good one. Because then you can highlight why we need it and get past people's ego. You get what I'm trying to say? Because a lot of people too egotistical to admit they could use that service.
hmm.
You could argue why and how it benefits.
I would like to hear that.
See, you already got a fan already.
But I think everybody agrees that we do need counseling.
Nah,
I,
some of them
I
religious ones will argue we just need the book. We need prayer. Do black people need prayer or counseling? That's your debate right there.
Mhm.
I be trying to figure out what it does for you. Cause it seems like people take advantage of what they supposed to be doing. And I don't know. It's not my career field, but I would definitely be interested in hearing it. I would appreciate if you speak on it, Marley, sometime when you're probably awakened to share um the expectations one should have from a counseling or sessions. Because it seems to me in some cases, I'm a vet, so I've looked to see like how they're operating in that field, and it just seems to me like the service is not. I don't want to say it's not because I don't know what it provides or what's the expectation of it, but I've sat in a few sessions and I just be like, now what am I supposed to get out of this again? You seem like you just aggravated me.
See, there you go.
Help me, Marley. I need
You
some
could,
help.
you could, but that's a good point because you could speak to the benefit in that. Even when we get to these conversations in the gender wars, you can bring in family counseling, how that's a benefit, coping mechanisms for PTSD, whether it's traumatic, or the way we apply it to slavery in regards to black people. Like there's a lot of fundamental elements you could get off in the debate on that, Marley.
Now the
Mhm.
coping piece, I see a benefit in the coping, understanding coping mechanisms and when to tap into them, how it can be used in a certain aspect. But some ideas of counseling, I'm not getting it. I just don't understand. Like what are you supposed to get out of it? I just don't get it.
Even the debates, how a good counselor can help you formulate better debates. And you can
Hmm.
highlight how communication is needed and um, thorough, thorough listening and getting your points across are things you could learn from a counselor. There's a
It's
lot in
help
your
me more
lane.
because I got questions. Because um, you know, you go in a counseling session, my experience, and they ask you questions, and then you're like looking at them like, what are we doing again? And then they're like, tell me something, and I'm like, what do you want to know? It's like just I just don't really get it. I'll be honest with you, I
Oh,
do not get it.
so you went to counseling already.
Yeah, I've participated. Someone sent me, my doctor told me I had to go to a counseling session, and so I went,
Why they
and
told you that?
I don't know. They said, okay, so from my understanding, they say if you say certain things, then they'll refer you, right? So I thought I was going for like pain management. However, obviously, I ended up in the counseling session, in the psychologist section. So when I got there, I'm like, okay, they're asking me, so why you here, what you here? And I'm like, no. And so they's like, okay, tell me something. And so I'm like, well, what do you want to know? Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? So I'm confused. And so they just like, okay, well then I guess we'll just, when you're ready to talk, then we'll talk. And I'm like, okay, I don't usually talk to people, but I guess we're just gonna be sitting there. It was like, okay. So we did that for like 4 weeks. And I'm like, well dang, what was I supposed to get out of this? Did I miss something
Hmm.
or whatnot? Yeah, I just didn't get it.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you was referred to them for,
Hmm.
but they're asking you questions because apparently you were there and somebody referred you, so they're just doing their job in terms of asking you questions
I got you.
to see what your presenting problems are, because you go in there because you have a problem, right? So or you may have, or you should have a problem, and that's the reason why you're there. And then you tell them, and they know what's your presenting problem. They supposed to assess you, do an assessment, and then diagnose you based off of the assessment and things that you mentioned to them as well.
I know a different
In this session, and some therapists, because there's a difference between a psychologist and a therapist, but some psychologists and therapists, they use different methods and techniques, and it depends and it varies on the individual as well of what type of technique and the situation that they're in, you know.
mm, I be trying to figure out like people with PTSD, like when they say they go into counseling, like what type of methods are they helping them with? Because it don't seems like sometimes it seems like those individuals aren't. They still. I suspect counseling won't help you with triggers because if you
I
get
would say
through,
more like I would say more like CBT, most likely CBT,
what's
to try to
CBT?
get cognitive behavioral therapy to get them to change their perspective on the matters.
Oh,
And you have medication. People take medication for it, prescribed medication from a psychiatrist. So it's two different forms of one of the models that is used, because it's evidence based, is CBT.
mm. So nine out of ten, the person may not be taking the medicine, so it's not the counseling that's ineffective. It's them uh withdrawing from the medication that's supposed to redirect their thoughts.
Yeah, something similar to that, but it's more of like changing your perspective on things, because no one could really control their feelings or the emotions. We can only change our perspective on things of how we feel. So CBT is used to actually change the individual's perspective on the particular situation or scenario that they was in, to help them with that in terms of how they view it, because how they view it is making them feel a certain way.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's different techniques and methods that are used. Some people just want to vent. Sometimes you don't even use any techniques and these methods in counseling. And maybe like, in the first couple of sessions you may use it, because because and then after that it's just like, you just venting, but for the most part, like in one of my sessions, I had a client and they was telling me, about themselves and, they had like a breakthrough in the session. They were like, wow. And it was like, did you go to school for this? I was like, yeah. It was like, because he was like, they never had a therapist, uh, kind of like actually use a method and technique on them. Because usually a lot of the time, some of the psychotists, I mean, I don't know about the psychiatrists, but I know some of the therapists, they just sit down and just listen most of the time. They don't really, engage and stuff. I'm one of those people who like to engage and give interactive feedback and and things like that help the client explore their feelings and things of that nature. Everyone's different though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that now that I think about it, when you talk in that manner, they want me to talk in reference to the injury, and I won't talk about that because it's triggering, and so I was like, you know what, I don't need to be in here because y'all gonna put me in the space. I don't want to be over there because that's not helpful. So I would be like, this ain't working out at all. I'm not gonna talk about that. You're trying to get me to talk about that. This ain't working. So I don't know what's going on in this therapy session right now. So that's kind of, yeah, maybe that's what they were trying to do. I don't know. Maybe. But for me, it didn't. I think that with some of our folks, it's triggering, and so they shy away from the therapy. And so maybe, like you said, maybe it's techniques, maybe it's the therapist, or maybe it's a therapist and not a psychologist, so maybe they've been referred to the wrong professional in some cases. I just always wondered about that, like, why therapy is not working for some people. I didn't mean to wake you up.
Nah, I'm listening. Nah, it's it's psychology is a very interesting field. It's very, very complex too because of the complex emotions that, we deal with, and it's still a new science. It was established around like the 1800s, in terms of like, in terms of like modern psychology, in terms of like testing and things of that nature, um, and experimentation. So there's certain things that has not been discovered about it, just like any other science as well too. But there's a lot of things about psychology that, in comparison to other sciences, that has not been um found yet, or been discovered yet, or So it still has a long way to go in comparison to the other sciences, like physics and and chemistry and biology and things of that nature. So those sciences are a little bit older, so they have a little bit more of a head start in terms of what they have established in our world and society and stuff like that. You know, but with a combination of all of these different sciences would help, you know, um, further in advanced psychology, knowing about these different sciences as well, in terms of knowing chemistry, organic chemistry, in terms of the chemical hormones in the brain that's associated with certain emotions. Um, when we're dealing with the central nervous system, and understanding the biology of the central nervous system and the neurons and the structure of the cell, and what type of cell that it is, and those things. It's very important to know. So that would be the biological aspect. And then you would have physics when you're dealing with perception. We observe the physical world. That's also important to know too, as well. Incorporation in terms of um, getting a better understanding in the field of psychology.
Got you.
Hmm.
So by any means is questioning you in the chat. He says psychology is not a science. Nice try, Marley. I said click the link.
Who who said that? Oh, damn.
Mm.
Yeah, nah. Psychology is a science. It's the study of human behavior. And in human behavior, there is things that are natural, right? So, in the future, when things do develop and advance, you will see how it would evolve and change, just like how things in other sciences have changed when new evidence and information was brought upon. Especially when there's things when you're able to quantify emotions objectively. You know.
Mm. Yeah, Marley. So why didn't you use something in psychology as a debate topic?
Mm, because I don't know. I just chose to do something that they probably know a lot more about. You know.
Like, how does the psychology of people doing maybe let's twist up your democracy topic a little bit. Um, don't listen to me, Marley. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nah, but but yeah, but more or less though, like I said, to understand, or to get a better understanding of the field, to further the field, you would have to learn those, and also too more mathematics as well too, because then once we're able to quantify emotions objectively, then we're gonna have to, implement more formulas are gonna be created. Um, there's going to be much more experimentation, things of that nature. So it will definitely change in the future.
Hmm. Vast, they don't have no sources for that information.
On which part? Just because I'm silent don't mean I ain't got some bullets
Uh
over
oh.
here.
Uh oh. The mathematical portion of observation of behavior. I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know about the mathematics in it, but the behavioral. Dang, what's his name? Clarence Maxey. What's his last name? Why you do me like that, Auntie Mo? I was sitting over here, sitting with this boy. Now you
Cause
got me thinking.
yep, because
Um,
I want to know. I want to know how the psychology of the people when there's lack of food.
Clarence Maxey, Maxey Clarence Maltby. That's it. Y'all
How
can look
how
him up. That was
how
a
I'm gonna
black
get
psychiatrist.
yeah, how I'm gonna get people to focus on
It,
jobs and training when they hungry.
he
Well,
is credited with looking at rational behavior therapy to go into your question.
mm-hmm.
Oh, where was he from?
Rational behavior therapy. Samantha Amura says, actually, I think the math in psychology helps us understand the number of atoms to help make the elements that form a cell. What do you think about
Hmm?
that, Marley?
I don't know what he talking about, but okay. I don't know what whatever he's saying. I guess I don't know, but yeah.
That
But
would be a
before,
psychiatrist, not a
but before I
psychologist.
started studying psychology, I got a degree in electronics.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's a big switch. Or is
Yeah,
it not?
so, yeah, so I know about electronics too.
Well, isn't it something? Okay. Electronics.
Hmm.
Hmm. So, you know how to, when Q be over there with the kids and
Yeah,
building stuff.
I used to go over there with my Arduino kit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I used to go over there with my Arduino kit. Yeah, I still got it inside of the crib. I haven't worked on it, work with it in a long time. You're going to be needing to use certain things, some electronics and psychology too, like the oscilloscope. Especially when measuring like brain waves and stuff like that. You
Oh,
use things like that, especially with the circuitry in the brain, with the neurons and things of that nature, and the electrical signals. And you need to know about those things. And computation, you learn about those things in electronics.
okay. Outside of my field.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to be doing neuropsychology. I'm more into like the neuroscience aspect.
So you could talk to the people who have like TBI, traumatic brain injuries and things of that nature.
Huh?
So you'll be able to talk to the people who have like traumatic brain injuries.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, Marley.
Hmm.
He says, Marley, if it's a science, what are some universal laws or principles? Because you have to eat to grow, so your cells will gather the energy and
That's two
practices
different
to heal
people.
disease.
That's,
Oh,
yeah, that's two different people. Nah, but for the first person,
oh,
I've created universal laws already that you know, um, that I haven't published yet, but I have created them. That's why I said when it gets further, when you got to further it, right? So when new people come into the field and they start to discover and establish new things.
mm, you're a bad man, Marley. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm currently working on my theoretical framework now. I started working on it in the UK, in Brooklyn, and then in the UK, and Paris, and I'm gonna be doing some of it in Germany as well in
I
December.
remember. So that's what you were doing when you went to Paris this past few months ago.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm around all the brainiacs.
Hmm.
See, I'm around all the brainiacs. Y'all super intelligent.
Nah, I ain't that smart.
You're smarter than I.
Nah, I just know I'm just in my field.
Mm-hmm. You feel the study.
Hmm.
So when did you switch to psychology from mechanic? I
When
mean,
I changed
no. You said what did you say?
electronics,
Electronics. Yeah. When did you switch? In the adult years or early on?
It was early on, so I started studying electronics in my early 20s, right after high school. Matter of fact, I was like 19, I think, or 18. I think I was 19.
Hmm.
And after I graduated, I went to go study psychology, and I had dropped out. It was a big switch because in electronics you do math and it's equations, so it's everything's equations and equations. And psychology was more papers, and I wasn't used to it. So, but I came back and uh finished up my bachelor's degree, and then I went and got my master's. You know,
Hmm.
You mean the Nobel Prize, Bam? The Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize is for like political leaders and people in humanitarianisms. Nobel Prize is for science.
Oh, so I'll get to see you one day and say, "Oh, I know him." Well, I know of his voice. I don't know him.
Yeah, so I have already created, the laws and stuff like that. I just gotta publish it now.
Okay, go Marley.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So you have to get it peer reviewed.
Uh, yeah, yeah. It'll get peer reviewed.
Interesting.
Mm. But you can still copyright it though.
Okay.
Mhm. You can still, when I get it copywritten, and then I'll get it peer reviewed.
Yeah,
Mm,
definitely. Don't forget that intellectual
mm,
property.
right.
Hmm. That's cool. Keep up the good work.
Mm.
Vasa, where was the source? I forgot it.
Max, hold on. I get you. For Maxie,
Yeah, Vasa like a little walking encyclopedia. He always got a source. I'm sorry, Psycho. We hijack your show.
Psycho probably sleeping.
Oh, he done took a nap. He said we.
Yeah, I've been working on a lot of different things lately. That's why too. I just want to when I come to the panels, just to relax.
Yeah, to redirect, right?
Yeah, we having a lot going on in the real world, man.
Hmm. That's like last week. I was reconciling financial statements, and it was driving me absolutely crazy. And I was like, I'm about to go. Let me go do some shenanigans now. It was like, what? I said, yeah, I'm going to listen to the YouTube. Let me go see what's going on in YouTube spaces or sports world. I'll go listen to Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and them, or I go listen to Speak Easy with Ocho, or
Right, 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 right.
Mhm.
No, you're right. You're right.
Catch up on the sport. I've learned one thing YouTube done for me. I've learned a lot. I learned I've learned how to analyze sports better. I go listen to everybody, and I'm like, so my friend be like, "How do you know that?" I be
Oh,
like, "I've
I know you be listening to me when we be talking about the sports.
yeah." And like
Yeah.
I be learning. So when I'm talking to my everyday friends, and I'm talking my little talk, like I've learned this on my own. They feel like, how you know this stuff? I'll be like, shoot, I be the know boy. All you gotta do is just sit back and listen. You can learn a lot.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like basketball a lot too. I like Paul.
like basketball. I haven't watched. I don't know why I didn't watch basketball last year. I got into the female sports, and I forgot all about the men. Whatnot. But I said I was gonna go to some games this year, depending on how this world is acting. I can save my little coins, but I want to go to the Charlotte games. That's the closest to me. Charlotte, about an hour, and then Atlanta, 3 hours. I want to catch a game or two. Do you go to the games? Well, you have the Knicks
And the Nets. The Nets
and the
lost. The Nets is
Knicks.
losing right now. The Nets is the worst team in the East
Oh Lord, where's the
right
Nets
now.
located?
Brooklyn,
Okay,
right here.
Brooklyn Nets. Oh, so wait a minute. What's the okay? So baseball, y'all have the Yankees and the
The Mets.
oh, so that's probably why I'll get confused. Okay, okay, okay. I've been to a Yankees game. That's New York. Okay, okay. So do you go out to the games or you just watch it?
Be watching the games.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just watched some games earlier on today. I was watching some games. Yeah,
yeah.
but I want to go to a Nets game though, even though they be losing. I want to go to a team who they play that's going to be good though. That got like superstars that I like.
Ah,
So, so you know,
I hear that. So you have the best of both worlds, right?
mhm.
Yeah. I'll I've attended a few football games. I need to, but I only like to go to one that have a dome. I don't like the open because it's get too cold. I want to go see Charlotte, but the Panthers, but it's cold now. It's gonna be too cold in those stands. You have to go when it's warm. What's the temperature in New York right now?
Damn, man, it was. Hold on, let me see. It's like 50 degrees.
Well, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, I'm sure it's cold, but not. I'm sure you used to 20s and teens.
20s and teens. That's in December, like late December,
Oh, okay.
early January.
Okay, so y'all rock out the 50s and the 60s in
Yeah,
November.
yeah. 50s,
Mm.
stuff like that. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, that would probably be super cold in New York than in the South.
Mm.
Our 50s for you would be like summertime, but your 50s for me would be like, oh, January. Super cold. So you rocking your Tims and your puffy jacket and
Nah, I'll be dressing like. I mean, I still got my Timbs and stuff, but I don't be dressing like that every day no more though. I be dressing
um,
like a professional.
oh, I forgot. You're a
Yeah.
psychologist.
Nah, therapist. I'm not a
Oh, I
psychologist. Yeah.
forgot. A therapist, so
Yeah.
you have to go in, would you wear the
Yeah.
polos and the slacks or or the button down and the
Yeah.
jacket,
I be
blazer.
wearing like flannels and like khakis, you know,
Okay, okay, now
shoes,
I'm
formal.
a professional.
Yeah, professional. Yeah,
There you go.
professional.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So I don't really be investing in those types of gears no more. You know.
Oh, you don't rock the jeans and not even on the weekends.
Nah, I don't be rocking the jeans. I don't even own a pair of jeans. I own like two pairs of jeans.
What?
Hmm I got a lot of Nike Techs though. I got a lot of Nike Techs outfits, like sweats and stuff. But a lot of my clothes now is like slacks, khakis,
Khakis.
different color khakis. You know what I'm saying? Like different color slacks, sweaters, casual sweaters.
Okay.
I still got my hoodies and stuff like that though. So I still got some of my gear and stuff like that, but I got um more casual clothes and more like, professional clothes now.
Nike's been putting out more of a khaki type pants in their outlets. Um, like
Nah,
different
I'm good. I don't like stuff like that from
shades.
Nike.
Really?
Nah, I'm good. So I don't want to. I'm not buying no Nike khakis.
I like Nike khakis. I like
I'm good.
Nike. They have a cargo pants. I think it's just I like them. Um, but, but yeah. Okay. Okay. I see you shining, doing your thing
Mm, yeah. So yeah, I dress like that now. I don't really be dressing like, you know.
with the fitty.
mm,
He said, "Mm-mm, mm-mm."
Yeah, I don't just. Yeah, I don't dress like that no more. Not like that. Not like that. Every like once in the blue, but you know, I like to dress like a professional now.
Okay,
And
what's
then
the
too,
profession
and then
now?
t- and then too, you attract different certain women like that too as well, as opposed to other women when you dress certain ways.
Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that. I ain't attracting no women.
Uh, No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying for me, like they see it's a
Yeah,
different, it's a much more mature look. You know,
yeah, that's
yeah,
true. That's true.
yeah,
Keep your pants on your butt.
yeah.
Yep,
And
wear a
then
belt.
too, yeah, and then people see you, and then they know a certain level of respect. You know,
Mhm.
yeah.
Talk to him, Marley. Talk to him. Okay.
Auntie Mo, look at that very last message in the back
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
That is something, just some extra research on the food crisis that might intrigue you to read more.
Anybody heard anything about deity or Wale?
They said I asked about them in the chat. They said guilty allegedly, because I don't know, but they said he was and then Wale, I don't know. I asked about Wale. I kept asking, but nobody said anything. Cause he was in Jamaica, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody said anything. No, no. But they say we like to refer to it as going to college. They say Diaz went to college.
Hmm. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, but Wale, yeah, I was concerned for Wale when I heard about the hurricane, and I had asked in Q's chat, but then nobody responded though. So I'm not sure.
Auntie Mo, you from the South for real. If you said a sit down is going to college, that's all the way Southern.
Yeah, we like to say they go to college. They just going away for a little while. Coming back, they be back. Go and get your studies up. Yeah. Now Wale, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know nobody who knew him personally. But he hadn't been before the hurricane though. He hadn't been on the panels though, have he?
While they be in them ABO camps,
Oh, you've seen him, Visa?
I don't go over there. I just
Mm.
caught on to some of the names he said he's been watching recently and know them from being in the ABO camps.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
hopefully he's all right. Maybe it's just they're not what is it? I don't want to say towers is down, but maybe they just not getting signals to where he can jump on right now.
Yeah. And I don't know what part of Jamaica he dwelled in, so
But I do know when he was absent pre-storm, he was spending a lot of time in them other camps.
mm.
This nigga said he was.
Lord, they go more
Nigga,
laugh.
About
nigga, if he
time we
asked
got to
for
laugh.
students, nigga, if he asked for storm, that nigga, if he asked to say, yeah, fuck all of that. I do know before the storm, that nigga was over there with them apples. Yeah,
Mm.
yes,
I ain't gonna lie
crazy.
to you. What's his name? He be over there with smoke
Smoke
signal.
signal. Yeah.
Um, well, I ain't been hearing Tariq. He used to pop over my timeline. He ain't been live with the FBA folks. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen a couple people live. I guess they.
That's a good thing, Auntie Mo.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
good thing. I'm pro ignore the foolishness till it drowns itself out.
It definitely draws itself out. So they find some relevancy, huh? It's a movement.
You know them badass kids that the more you get on to them, the more they. You already know where I'm going with this. But as soon as you stop paying them any ever mind, they sit down, get quiet, start cleaning up, doing everything they supposed to do.
Every time.
That's how you gotta treat these pseudos and all these weirdos.
Every time. Let Shine be over there battling them.
Yeah, Sean ain't gonna stop.
Mm-hmm. Shine ain't got nothing else. Well, I'm gonna get off the panel so y'all can get y'all some company.
Yeah, that's some company. What you talking about?
Y'all
This,
have some
this
other
is all.
people.
This is all that we need. Everybody else just be taking up space and time.
Maybe
You know,
you say
you
we
know,
taking up
I
space and time, Marley.
yeah, I barely get a couple of words in. I really just get to laugh. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
all you get to do.
That's all I get to do. Nobody here right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I could,
And get it in. I
Mhm.
oh we know when you're on the panel because all we see is ah.
We try to throw you an alley oop and let you talk about your field.
Yeah, I wanted to hear some. I want to, I'm very curious to know. Well, you kind of gave me a little nugget, so
Mhm.
maybe I'll
What you
be.
want to
I
know?
think
Maybe
he's secretly.
I might
I
be
think Marley
cooperative
got
next
some
time.
headphones. I think Marley got one earbud in listening to E40 right now.
Oh, you
Nah,
think
what you
so?
want? So what do you want to know? What do you want to know about the field?
Because we Vyasa.
Oh, I'm just trying to get you to expound on it, get your shine on.
Oh, but what part though? Like, it's
What are
so it's broad.
Right,
what are
yeah,
we
it
gonna need?
is.
Okay, so what are we gonna need to do? Okay, so
Okay, I
we
give you
know we
one
have
because
a.
it came up in the chat.
Okay,
Demonstrate to them how psychology can be seen as a science. Whether you start off with it being a natural science and build from there. Um,
That's why. And then I was just talking about it earlier. I was kind of going into that.
yeah,
You
he touched
know,
on that.
yeah, I touched on that already. I don't think he was listening.
do I get to say
And
pause?
Okay,
that
pause.
pause.
Whatever that means.
So I touched on that earlier. When the
Pause
dude in the
again.
chat, yeah, but pause when the dude in the chat asked about it or whatever, and I went into how it could become one. A natural science.
But you have a question in the chat, Marley.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what that dude talking about. That's why I just ignored it.
Oh,
So because he over here talking about physics and stuff and kinetic molecular theory, and we over here talking about psychology. Wasn't
Gotcha.
nobody even talking about nothing about that.
I gotcha. So I want to know, you know, since we are about to deal with a crisis as it relates to food, from a therapist perspective, how do we keep the people calm, or, you know, because, people are going to say things to them
Well,
like,
it's not just one thing, one way to keep the people calm. It's everyone is different, so it's not just one solution. So
so,
to keep the people calm when people say that there's no food, there ain't no food. Like I don't know who's gonna stay calm in that situation. Oh,
but, people's going to be coming at them like, well, you should have just get you another job or get up and work and things of that nature. Like a reassurance, I guess you can say, like,
well, like again, like once I said before, everybody's different. So each client that comes in who may have that issue, let's say there's a group of people that's coming in for that issue for therapy. Each client, would get a different treatment plan in that scenario based off of what they're telling you in terms of that particular situation that they're going through, you know. So it can vary for different people. It's not just one solution.
That's why I referenced that RBT, Antimo, that rational behavior therapy. A centerpiece to that would be focus on the controllables.
hmm,
Challenge the crisis by that implying acknowledge that it's there, but challenge it. Focus on what you can control. Try to get a stronghold on your frustrations because it is going to create frustrations. Try to navigate through that and focus on how you can focus on the frustration control is focus on what you can control. That goes back to the rent parties and the research to other resources that you was alluding to earlier.
right.
But
They say don't.
we
Oh,
can't
go
think our way out of being hungry, but we can think of ways to cure that hunger.
hmm. That was one of the comments made by Trump, was that when they were thinking about uh dismantling the Department of Education and the feeding program the first time, was that the comment was like, you said that we put these we have these additional feeding programs because the kids were hungry and it would help them folks stay focused in class, but your grades don't reflect that, or your rating doesn't reflect that. And so then, if that is the case, we don't need all these additional food programs, because it's not, the results of education is not there. And so therefore they start looking more into dismantling those programs, because when it was, and so what I've learned out of that thought is, if you are addressing a need, be careful of what you are suggesting the problems are, or the what you think is going to help. So if you think that it should just be, nutritious food because we need nutritious food, not nutritious food because it's going to help someone study or focus, right? Because it could come back to haunt you. Like, what your this is that, this for that is for. And I think that that's one of the reasons why, they kind of like turn it back and try not to bend is because they're like, well, if when they do the statistics of the areas that using it the most, it's also have a low education rating. So in that case, they say, well, I mean, food doesn't really benefit you for that cause at all.
Mm.
So just be careful what you're using as a variable so it doesn't come back to hunt you later.
See, you are already taking steps to sound like a psychologist, Auntie Mo.
Oh God, you're right. I hate psychology.
And to that, this is where the science comes in because it's multidisciplined.
Mm.
You would sit back and study the behaviors and then get a nutrition to show the correlations. You get what I'm trying to say? And you
Mm-hmm.
can sit back and say, okay, when the kids are hungry and they upset or disrupting the class because they crying out, that lowers attention in the classroom and it creates this dilemma. But if we have these food programs to feed them, we eliminate that part of this problem.
Mm.
I hope that makes sense
It
to kind of
does.
tie in the entire conversation. But that's Marley's job. He probably gonna laugh at me for saying this shit.
Yeah, Marley. He done went to sleep on us.
I
Cool.
told you he listening to E40.
Nah, I was looking up what that dude was saying in the chat about the gas, about the theory and all of that stuff. And that shit has nothing to relate to with psychology.
Mm. He said we take the senses into account when our brain functions.
No, I ain't talking about that part. I was talking about the kinetic molecular energy. The five senses is associated with our perception, so it influences our perception or creates our perception.
That's a good debate to well, shit, they can just research it. But you
But
know, we're at the point to where they're classifying more than five senses now in the human, right?
mm,
I think we're up to
Mm.
22 senses that they detected.
What?
okay.
Read them off. Read them off.
Read them. Oh, girl, they got some big
He said,
scientific
"Ooh,
names.
girl." Oh,
But like you
so
have a sense of
what's the
direction.
function? Oh, gotcha.
You can sense your temperature. Um, if you close your eyes, you can sense where your head is and where your feet
Mm,
are. There's multiple forms of senses that they're now labeling.
I see.
It says about 21. I just looked it up. It's like 21. But the five main, but we talk about the five main ones that we have. Hello?
We here. I'm looking for these senses. I'm behind.
My bad, y'all. I'm having a daddy moment.
Uh-oh. The sun.
But the other census that Vyasa is talking about though is in modern neuroscience that has neuroscience has discovered. So yeah, we have five senses that we talk about, and but there's more senses.
I need to stay up with this information.
I mean, you can't stay. I mean, you can try to stick with everything. But there's some things might not be up to date, so you might find a little bit later based off of your level of interest. So it's going to be like that with a lot of different
Mm,
things in life.
that's true. Okay, I see balance, temperature, pain, body position, internal body senses. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. They put a name on it. That's cool.
Yeah,
So
I think this. Hold on, I think let me see something. I think it says it's 9. Hold on.
yeah, see at least 9 to 12. I see 10. Oh, let me see. There's more. Hold on. They say magnetoreceptions. Okay, you got time perception,
Hmm.
magnetoreception, magno electroreception, echolocation, gravity perception.
Yeah,
Those
man.
I'm at
Let me go.
15. What you
Yeah,
got?
15. I got
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14. Because there's 9, and then the
Let's see.
Okay, we still there?
Yes. You found them?
I don't know what I missed.
Oh, the census. So I'm up to 15.
I don't know which ones y'all named off.
Let me see.
yeah, hello.
Oh, oh, I see pressure, vibration, itching. What you got?
Oh yeah, pressure, vibration, itching, stretching.
Mhm.
Did y'all do
Th- Thirst,
the
hunger.
it it's like equal bioperception. That's your sense of staying balanced.
Yeah, we got balance.
Okay.
Yeah. Temperature, thermoception, pain. We got those. And then respiratory urge, need, decept, deficit. Oh, and then need urinate. Okay, I see what they doing with that. I see what they're doing with it. It's more. It's like a lot of the functions. They categorized it by traditional, physical, and internal, and then specialized or cognitive.
Well, think of it like this, Auntie Mo. Back in the days, they wouldn't have considered your sense of your breathing rate, but that's something only you can sense. You get what I'm trying to say by that?
Yeah,
And that becomes one. Like you can sense and feel. I hate to say sense and feel, but you could feel the
yeah,
difference in the oxygen you get. So things like that, it becomes interesting. I don't know if they just pushing to get a new paper established at times, but sensing the temperature, whether it's hot or cold, that's something that's going on within the human body that they started to classify. Ugh, Forget, forgive me for that yawn.
yep. Okay, Marley's gone. This was a good one. Yeah, that was good. Okay,
I got one.
what you got?
It correlates with the main topic at the moment. You can
What's
sense
that?
when you're hungry.
Yeah,
That's one. I don't know
let me see if
just a
it's on here.
scientific name for it, but I'm pretty sure that's one of them.
Oh, they have hunger on here that falls under the internal regulation census. Intercept.
I told you they become hard to say.
Hmm. They got it broken out though, like hunger, thirst, need to urinate, need to defecate, and respiratory urge. Those are all the internal. So they broke them out. Never would have thought I'd have failed the class when they said, "How many senses do we have?" I'd have been like, "5." No, you're wrong. Okay. I guess my time is well spent, and I'll see y'all next time. Mhm.
Okay, Auntie Mom.
Bye bye, sir.
Check out that lady's work, because
Yes.
it might
I
give you some good arguments.
Yeah, I just screenshot it so I can look it up. Peace.